Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Springfield Double Shootout 2021 edition. This is the second year for the event. My name is Mike Flanagan. I'll be bringing you the coverage here all weekend here on Inside Bowling. Glad you're with us. The defending champions, Francois Lavoie and A.J. Chapman, they bowled the event back in 2019. Of course, in 2020, with the pandemic, the event was postponed to this year. Francois will be bowling later today. Francois will be shoeing up with Christopher Sloan in the event this year. Glad you're with us this morning. We've got a full day of bowling for you. We've got 7 games of qualifying for you today on the A squad. We got B squad coming up today at 1:30. We'll have C squad for you tonight at 6 o'clock. We're in Springfield, Missouri, Central Time Zone. I want to welcome in all of our viewers here that are watching here on YouTube on our channel. Once again, my name is Mike Flanagan from Inside Bowling. Glad you're with us. I'll have Kevin Williams, who is actually the person that is the poster boy for the event. He's the one that's put this thing together. A lot of people helped make it happen. We'll go over all the folks to thank a little bit later. But before we do get started this morning, I think something that's way more important than bowling in itself is today's date. Today is September the 11th here in the United States. And September 11th is a really important day in our history, the 20th anniversary of 9/11, where we lost so many Americans on that terrorist attack. The time right now is 9:11 here in the building, and they are going to do a moment of silence here in just a moment.
Thank you. This is a big weekend for us. Again, thank you all for coming out. There is a re-entry squad on our third squad if you guys want to get back in. Other than that, your name and arrows are up. Good luck and good bowl.
Looks like they're getting ready to get the tournament started here. A moment of silence for 9/11. Again, I remember where I was on 9/11. I'm sure each of you do as well. So a good day to reflect and remember and appreciate all the things that we do have being September 11th. With that, we will find a couple of pairs of lanes to head out to, and we'll take you there now. Game number 1 of 7, as I said. We've got 8 lanes of coverage for you here this weekend. I've got lanes 27 through 30 where we will start. I've also got lanes 35 through 38 for you that I can switch over to. Looks like over here on lanes 27 through 30, we've got Tom Bohannon. He's bowling with Breedlove, Bittenbender and Barrett. And then right next door on 29 and 30, Carson and Peters, and O'Brien and Sapolis. The 4 teams we get started with here to start things out. I built my picture-in-picture scoreboards to take up the entire monitor, but it may look like I may want to make a change to that one. So I'll dial that in throughout the weekend. But let's go over and get you up to speed on everything that is going on here from Springfield. We want to thank our host, Enterprise Park Lanes, home of the Greater Ozarks Open. I was talking to Steve Weimer this morning. The Weimer family own Enterprise Park Lanes. The Greater Ozark Tournament, 1,200 teams typically come to that event. They've had as many as 1,400. 64th year for that event. So you can check out the Greater Ozarks Bowling Tournament, the event that they run, singles, doubles, and team event every year. If you haven't heard of it, it's been a good one over the years. One of the largest attended multi-week double, singles, and team event. It starts at the end of February and runs through the end of June every year if you'd like to take a look at that. First place in this doubles event is $10,000. They did have a points Calcutta last night, so to speak. Additional prize money available there as well. 3 qualifying squads again, 9 a.m. here this morning, 1:30 and 6, 7 games. They're bowling on a house shot. It's not the Enterprise Park Lanes house shot. They're actually bowling on a 44 feet in length, very high-scoring pattern. Last night, Nick Pate bowled in a 4-game sweeper, a 300 game, and a pair of 279s. He took it home last night. I don't remember exactly what he averaged, but took a bunch, and we're going to have a lot of high scores here today. Currently is 60 teams before re-entries, and again, the C squad tonight, teams are allowed to re-enter tonight if they like and take a second stab at it, provided there are spots open. We've also going to cut to the top 25% of the field. For tomorrow morning will be the cashers round at 8:30 a.m. They will bowl 5 games with pins carrying over. The top 16 will then bowl single elimination Baker bracket match play, which will all begin just after those 5 games in the morning. About a half an hour a game scoring pace here on a house shot. Matches will be best of 7 in that single elimination Baker bracket match play for you. We'll have that for you tomorrow on Sunday. Seeds 1 through 4 will get 2-round bye. Seeds 5 through 8 will get a 1-round bye. Winners get $10,000 and 2 nice glass trophies, I've been told, as well. And folks, this wouldn't be possible without our great sponsors, Greater Ozarks Open, as we talked about on the Open here. Ben Crazy is a store here locally where they sell a lot of goods and services. You can check them out over on Facebook, Ben Crazy Springfield on Facebook. And then Wise Guys Screen Printing. Head over to wiseguyscreenprint.com. If you're looking for any screen printing done, we've got that available for you as well. I want to thank Wise Guys for their sponsorship. And, of course, Brunswick, the brands of Brunswick, also sponsoring this event. So if you're looking for a new bowling ball purchase, make sure you consider the brands of Brunswick when you check out your new bowling ball. Do want to welcome everybody into the chat. Hello to Donnie. Hello to Sharon. Hello to Nico, to Rep, to JoJo, and to Red Cat. Good morning to everyone. We've got back-to-back weekends here on Inside Bowling. We're here at the Greater Springfield Double Shootout here. Next weekend we will be up in Waterloo, Iowa at the brand new rebuilt Maple Lanes for the Ebonite Fall Classic. Not going to miss that one next weekend. Always a great event. We've been doing that for going on 8 years now, if you can believe that one. 8 years, Joe Engelkiss and his crew. So they are still taking entries. You can head over to giba-bowling.com if you'd like to find out more information about that event. But back-to-back weekends of streaming here on Inside Bowling. And we appreciate everybody that's watching here. We also have a new feature here if you like. We have a super chat available. If you'd like me to answer any of your questions or anything, or want me to see something you have to say, YouTube has enabled our super chat. So I think it's just a couple dollars or whatever. You can do that. And, of course, we provide free streaming service here for you. If you'd like to take advantage of supporting the stream and and utilizing the super chat, that'll be interesting to watch throughout the week as well. And, of course, over at InsideBowling.com, we do sell merch. It does help support the channel. You can save 15% with coupon code YouTube over at InsideBowling.com. Kevin Williams is going to be joining me here in the booth here shortly after he gets a few things taken care of. So I will have some commentator assistance here, and it'll be fun to talk to Kevin Williams. He'll also be bowling in this event coming up here a little bit later today. So the action just getting underway. Also, hello to Colin, to Jay, to John. And now I'm going to work on these scoreboards for you guys. So enjoy some bowling here. And I'm sure we're going to have multiple 300s throughout the day. I'll do my best to cover them. Let's see what I can do here for you. I'm making the scoreboards a little bit cleaner. Just takes me a minute. All right, we'll try this. I'm actually going to see if there's a better way to present these scores here in the building, so I'll be right back. Okay, folks, they're working on changing these monitors around a little bit to where it's a little bit easier for us to read together. We have 24 teams this morning for you. It's a 40-lane bowling center here. So they could have taken up to 20 or up to 40 teams. I'll give you the team names that I have here. Resnick and Aldrich, Greiner and Hearns, Nick Pate and Brad Miller, DeVoe and Petrin, Ryan Barnes bowling with Joe Grondin, Nguyen and Baker, Lavoie and Sloan, Imhoff and Butler, Venezuela and Shirley, Stearns and Nelson, Chad Nelson, Nate Stubler, Cameron Crow bowling together this morning, Breedlove and Wilson. Sorry about that. Chris Sloan wanted to know where people can come and watch. Let's see. Yeah, Breedlove and Wilson, Tom Bohannon and Breedlove. So we've got two Breedlove here. Bittenbender and Barron as you're watching. Carson and Peters as you're watching. O'Brien and Sapolis as you're watching. Bolts and Murphy as you're watching. Dylan Burns and Bumgarner bowling together. Owens and House. Foster and Woods. Jenner and Solvent III. Grimes and Morris. Halen and Reed. And Samowski and Helferstay are your teams here this morning. Again, 7 games of qualifying. House shot, 44 feet in length. It's not the house shot for the bowling center here. It's just a house shot. Yeah, Francois Lavoie is bowling this morning. He will be coming through our pairs. He's bowling this morning. I don't know if they move squads. I don't know. Those guys might all be playing golf or something today. Peyton, Miller, and Sloan, and Lavoie. Again, Lavoie won this event in 2019, the inaugural event. He bowled with A.J. Chapman. This year bowling with Chris Sloan. I am behind lanes 33 and 34. And again, scoring pace is going to be extremely high. Doubles event. If you've watched the holiday doubles here with us on Inside Bowling, you'll know that that's a high-scoring event as well. I anticipate this one even being higher scoring than the holiday doubles. Is everything coming through okay this morning? I do want to double check that, everybody. Every time I plug this stuff in and I get started with an event, it gets better as the event goes on. But I did have a hiccup with my soundboard this morning, but everything seems to be working okay now. So if you could just give me a little heads up here in the chat, let me know everything's good to go. I would certainly appreciate that. Thanks, John and Donnie. Appreciate that. John Foster with a nice comment here in the chat, helping me out with commentating today. Says you might see some 7 and 10 conversions. Pins fly around very well here at Enterprise Park Lanes. Again, Enterprise Park Lanes, no stranger to scratch bowling and just competitive bowling in general. The Greater Ozarks tournament is what everybody knows this place for. Joining me now in the booth is Kevin Williams. Good morning, Kevin.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Mike?
Good. How's your sound levels over there? Not too loud or anything? You're good?
I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good.
So action just underway here. Game number 1, high scoring. 44 feet in length is the pattern. Can you tell us a little bit more about the scoring pattern that's out there?
No, I don't know too much about it because I am just the promoter of this event. I am actually bowling, so I didn't want to have too much say in those things. So the tournament director, CT, picked the pattern yesterday. I think it's just one of the Kegel house shot patterns. It's 44 feet. It's probably like a 10-to-1 pattern. So they're pretty easy, pretty soft for the most part. This place hooks a good amount. Enterprise is known to have a lot of friction, so he wanted to make sure that it was going to have enough oil that holds up for 7 games and we don't have guys loft in the gutter, game 5, anything crazy like that. So I think that's the route he was going with that. But that's about as much speculation as I can give you on the pattern. I know they're easy, though.
Tell me a little bit about this event and how it came to fruition in 2019 and now back again here in 2021.
Yeah, so, I bowl full-time as my job. And I just wanted to see competitive bowling back in Springfield. We have the Greater Ozarks Open. Most people know what that is, but that's different. You have 6 months going on throughout the year. You get all types of bowlers, which we love. But I wanted to see a weekend of big money in one weekend, head-to-head, get all my tour guys out here, all my friends out here. And so we decided, hey, let's see if we can make it happen. I talked to Steve. Steve said, the proprietor, said, I love it, let's do it. And so I told him I wanted to make a big weekend out of it. The first year I had a coaching clinic, I had a ball demo. I had a lot more than just a big doubles event. And this year we couldn't quite make it work because we pulled this off a little more last minute than we'd like to have, and school starting up. But we just want to see elite bowling happen in a big weekend. And we want to make it an annual thing where it's a full weekend of fun, kind of based off of, holiday doubles with what you guys do. Everyone puts that in their calendar. Everyone looks forward to that weekend. Everyone gets to see everybody, have a good time, and try to make some money. So that's kind of what we're doing. We're trying to be the off-brand, holiday doubles, I would say.
Okay, yeah, just a little bit earlier in the year, yeah.
Yeah, there's not as much going on in the summer, so we have a lot of golf courses here, a lot of nice ones built by Tiger Woods up in Branson, 40 minutes from here. So, might as well get people here when there's not much going on in the summer. We got lakes around here and stuff, so, so far so good.
And we're working on this scoreboard thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
We are. CT is a little torn because for the bowlers, this scoring system is sweet because you can see what place you're in, you can see the standings on your squad, and it looks awesome for the bowlers. And I know for the live stream, it's the opposite. So he's like, buy me some time. I'm kind of torn on that. And
okay.
he said he's going to make it work. But yeah, the scoring system it makes it so easy for us to run this event. We don't have to do anything.
Yeah, the scoring system's amazing. It's it's just a matter of like I'm having difficulty even here like calling out what we have going on here.
No, I agree. I agree. A lot of strikes going on right now though.
Yeah, there are.
Austin Bowles has 270 going second ball on the 10th. I know Casey had the front 6 or front 7, then he's 710, so he's got at least 260 left, I think.
Yeah, and the pins fly here pretty good, don't they?
Yeah. Yep, a lot of stuff carries here. These aren't super new pins. The Enterprise just has a lot of built-in friction, so anything you put out, they just get easier. So, we didn't, CT didn't put out a very hard pattern overall, but when we're practicing on tour patterns and stuff right here, the ratio goes up just because there's so much friction. You always know your ball's going to hook here. So that's just how Enterprise is. It makes everything a little more high scoring. So even if we put out something tougher, you'll see guys strike out here because they know their ball's going to always hook most of the time.
Yeah, I was just told Francois Lavoie bowled 300 down on the lower end.
Who?
Francois Lavoie.
I've never heard of her. Frankie, he's so good. He's so good. It's funny because a year or two ago, he would tell you he never knew how to strike when they're easy. And then he randomly started figuring out how to strike on easy. And he's like, yeah, now I'm a house hack. Now I can strike on the house. That's scary. You got a guy who can bowl, is one of the best bowlers when they're impossible. And now he knows how to strike when they're easy. That's scary. What can he do now? I wonder what Sloan had with him.
They said he could punch out for 2-0.
Okay, so good thing Frankie shot 300. Yeah, the first game last night we had a couple 300s as well for the sweeper. We had 80 last night in the sweeper. Good little turnout.
80 bowlers, yeah.
80 bowlers. It's a good Friday night little sweeper. Paid really well.
What did Nick Pate total? Do you know? Do you remember?
1083, 1082, 1080 something.
For 4 games.
Yes, he crushed him. He went 270, 220, 270, 300. Bowled well. Not a good bracket set because game 2, 220 isn't great, but he did win. He bowled well. Yeah, like that hit right there on 35. Looking at the 3, 6, 7, 9, and he leaves a 7 pin. A lot of stuff like that happens here at Enterprise. They fall pretty easy at times. Gardner gets his second one in the 10th. He's got 290 left. Scores are going to be real high these first couple games. I have my prediction that they are going to get pretty cliffed, and scores will drop the last couple games here. You know, you got 7 games. You got a lot of rev rate everywhere. A lot of oil in the middle part of the lane. They get tricky at times with that combination. So I'm curious to see what scores are going to do the last couple games, but they're going to be pretty high scoring the first 3 or 4.
Donnie Ackland says, "What's up, Kevin? How to hope to see you again in February at Billy's."
Always. Always.
Jay wants to know, Kevin, can you explain why someone wouldn't be able to strike when they're easy? I've heard that multiple times, and it doesn't really make sense to me.
So, I'm gonna say I'm sure he's referring to when I said Frankie doesn't know how to strike on easy. When I first started bowling more on tour, and I would bowl with a lot more tour guys, and we would go bowl stuff that was on house shots, and everyone would complain that they don't know how to strike when they're easy. The reason for that being is you think, oh, these guys are the best in the world. They don't miss what they're looking at. That is the case, but when you bowl on something hard and the pattern is flat, how you see the lanes and how you move off of a flat 7 or a flat 10 or a split is the complete opposite moves. So whenever you're bowling on house shots, you can move in and you can always throw it right, and it's always going to hook. So if a ball hooks, you just move left and you throw it right again, and it still hooks. If you're bowling on something tough and your ball hooks, you can't just necessarily move left and throw it right again. You usually have to bring your eyes in. So your adjustments are bipolar opposites when you're bowling on stuff that we bowl on tour versus house shots. So it gets very tricky to see the lanes the way that you're used to seeing them when you only bowl on tour. So, and it is a trait to be able to strike when they're this easy. You know, some people are like, oh man, you know, when they're this easy, anyone can just strike. But there is a talent in learning how to strike when you have the shim and learning how to throw a 10-bagger. You know, it is definitely a talent that some people just don't figure out. You know, you have to see your ball go through the pins the right way and know how to match up still, even if you do have 5 boards to hit. Video of Frankie Love shooting 300. Perfect. I'm going to post that.
People were asking about scores. We will be getting them posted on Inside Bowling's Facebook feed throughout the day. We'll dial that in throughout the day, but we will be able to put some scores out over there for you. Take us a little bit to get that rolling.
Yeah, he'll get the scores. He'll get the scores really quick with this new system up. He'll have scores by the second frame probably. So we'll be able to update those very quickly. This scoring system it really is amazing. It works so well. Follow the names. You import them and you got them. Don't need to do any typing or nothing.
All right, we get ready to go into game number 2. I'm going to step away for just a moment and help get things organized and making sure we're getting everything out to you folks. We're glad you're watching here on Inside Bowling.
Don't worry, guys. I'm still here for you. It gets tricky when you bowl doubles like this because it's hard when you get 2 partners that both strike a lot. You see scores are easy. You see Frankie shooting 300. This guy is 270, 290. But I don't see a lot of big team games because it is hard to have 2 guys throwing a 10-bagger at the same time, especially if you have a lefty and a righty. The pair might be a little different between the 2. So team scores, I don't see anything too crazy, really. I think one guy struggles, one guy crushes them. That's part of doubles. You know, you pick up your guys when they're not striking very much. He should be. If not, you can go in there. moving quickly. We're on to game 2 as soon as everyone gets their scores typed in.
CT's working on the scoring issue, so appreciate your patience. Sorry about any inconvenience. I could lead some calisthenics if you'd like to join me.
Don't scare us like that.
Sounds like we gotta get some scoring switched around here on the skip procedure. So we'll take a brief moment to work on that. Hi, Bradley Miller. What did he shoot the first game? Is it a new or old face too? It's a newer one.
Okay. We can bring it in the booth if you want.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Mike. This is Kevin.
Hi, I'm Kevin.
What have you been up to besides bowling? How's the other career?
Music's getting started back up now. I just closed on a home, so I got my studio up, all that stuff. So starting to do a little bit more recording. Got some marketing getting into play, things like that. I just have so much fun with the music.
And where can people find you?
Everywhere. And you just search my name on any music streaming platform. If you have Spotify, Apple, Amazon, all of it, just search my name.
And it's
You'll find my
Kevin Williams, and it's K-E-V-E-N.
Yes. The common mistake.
K-E-V-E-N.
E-N, yes. It's on everywhere. All my social medias are Kevin Williams as well. I'm getting a lot more active with the music. I don't want to ever have the what if I don't ever give it all I can with music.
Yeah, it's good too. And a lot of these YouTube bowling vloggers are using your music a lot.
Yep, my friends definitely give me the support where they need it, And all the videos we're doing, they're taking off really well. The house channel's doing great. Darren's channel, Brad and Kyle. So just being able to touch so many demographics with that is amazing.
And you're promoting them as well,
Yeah,
and they're promoting you. I see you
course.
promoting their channels and stuff. So.
Yeah. It's nice, being close with those guys and just knowing that it's the bigger picture of like collabing and staying together, and everyone's doing their own thing, but together it makes it so much easier.
What would it take for you to break through and get a hit? Do you know the recipe, the formula for that?
That's the trick about music is I don't think there is a formula. There's things that work for certain people, and yes, you can go talk to people in the music industry and they say if you do this, it'll help, but it doesn't work for everybody. Some people make it off of pure ignorance and being stupid, and some people make it off talent, and some people don't do marketing, some people do too much marketing. There really isn't a formula with music, at least from what I see. Yes, there's things that can help, and if you're consistent on certain things, it helps, but there's a lot of you don't knows. There's a lot of risk that you take that just doesn't pay off in the music industry, and I think that goes for a lot of things in social media now. I mean, the beauty and the beast of social media is everyone has the same platform and the same opportunity, but everyone has the same platform opportunity. So like anyone can blow up and become famous or viral or whatever the case, but there's so many people trying to do that now.
Mm-hmm.
So many people don't get seen that should be, that are actually talented and gifted in those ways. So it's tough. It's tough, and I'm glad that I do it just purely out of the love of it, and I don't do it for anything other than that. Because if I was trying to make it a career, I would have lost my mind by now. Because there's so many times where I see people that I think truly, and I'm not even speaking for myself, that truly don't have talent that make millions of dollars touring and stuff just because people think they're idiots and they love it. Tekashi's 6'9". No one likes that guy, but he makes millions of dollars making music because he's a troll. And I know so many talented people that will never have that opportunity. And it's frustrating.
True.
So I'm glad that I do it for the love and nothing else.
Yeah, and you got to be true to what you want to make as an artist, right? So, there's guys out there that do covers. Like there's a guy by the name of Mark Martell. He's the guy that sounds just like Freddie Mercury, for instance.
Yeah.
And he didn't want to be a cover guy, but he kind of fell into that, and he ended up getting Bohemian Rhapsody and did all the voiceovers and all that for that, and all the singing parts, and then he tours with Queen, right?
Yep.
But that's not what he wanted. He wanted to be his own artist, right?
Exactly.
So have you ever thought about maybe, doing any covers or anything like that, or your own versions of certain songs?
I'm not a good enough singer for that. I do remixes all the time of stuff like that because you're kind of using like a new song's clout to try to get known out there. Because if a new song comes out by Justin Bieber, people are going to search that new song. So if they search that new song and they happen to see, remix by Kevin Williams, they might click on it. But I don't do too many of those. That's the thing. Is people tell me all the time, sell out. Make a song that this person makes on the radio all the time. And I'm like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I know.
I want to just make what I want to make.
That's a really difficult deal there. Hey, look at this. Look at this. We've got some new monitor setups here. This is beautiful for all of us that are watching online. So shout out to your man. Your man, Chris Taylor, right? And you call him CT?
CT. Yep.
Chris is doing a great job here.
CT.
Is he the
That's
manager of the bowling center now?
He is the manager of Enterprise Park Lanes. He has been for about 5-6 years now. It's been a while. He's been out here as the manager for a while now. Does a great job. He's very good at his job. He's very good with people. He'll remember every conversation you have with everyone. He makes everyone feel at home. And that's the job he's supposed to do. But that's a trait that I wish I could steal from him sometimes. Sometimes I just can't remember people's faces and names, and I hate that. But
the Weimer family have owned this bowling center for a long, long time, haven't they?
yes.
Are they the original owners?
Yep.
Did they build it from scratch here? Do you know any of that stuff?
No, you're getting out of my realm of what I know and don't know. I know they've been here forever because a lot of people know Roger Weimer. He was very well known in the bowling industry. He was a great bowler, and he's been a proprietor for a long time. And then his son Steve took over when Roger was getting a little older, and he has passed. And Steve, I don't think anyone's ever said a bad thing about Steve Weimer. The guy's just as happy as can be. He doesn't hate anybody. He doesn't dislike anybody hardly. You got to do something really messed up for him to dislike you. He loves the bowling world. He wants to just bowling to grow. He doesn't care how that happens. He loves two-handers, one-handers, lefties. He says he hates lefties, but he says he hates lefties all the time, but he secretly loves them because he loves me and I'm left-handed. But he's a great proprietor. He's such a nerd for bowling. I mean, this guy doesn't really have to work anymore, but he's still in here 10 hours a day. If someone's out here bowling, he'll come up and give a free lesson to him just because he loves bowling. That's just strictly it. And it makes it really easy for me to be able to do things like this, run tournaments, have coaching clinics, go bowl on the road because he understands and he knows I'm trying the bigger picture of me trying to grow the sport. So he gives me more than enough freedom to do whatever it is I want to do and all my vision. So it makes it very easy to work for Steve Weimer. He is a great person. Everyone that works here is great people.
Yeah, he was supposed to go bowl the senior masters, but was having a thumb issue, so he's here this weekend.
See his
yeah,
thumb?
he showed me. Yeah.
It was twice as big a day and a half ago. He had a blister, and then it got infected under the blister, and his thumb swelled big time, which he's very upset about because, like I said, he's a bowling nerd. He was looking forward to being able to go bowl out there. We just drilled him 6 new balls, which he never drills new balls. So he's trying to make it see if it can work, if he can get out there and leave today. So I hope he can, because I know he's really wanting to do that.
I want to say hello to Kristen Anderson, who's watching this morning, along with Arch K1. Feeding Frenzy in as well. He's a big-time bowling watcher online. Always says God bless everyone.
Thank you for tuning in.
All right, Kevin, I'm going to let you run solo here in the booth.
I can run solo
We're
here.
actually putting this out to the people right now.
Perfect.
Which are these 35 through 38, which we'll be using the high end of the building for the finals tomorrow.
Yes, we are.
I'm going to go adjust these cameras to focus in on the scoreboards a little bit better, and then we should have a wonderful viewing experience for the rest of the event. So
I can talk to the people.
take it away. And here's also, if you like, there is the
Yes.
chat right there.
Yes. Perfect. Donnie says to tell Steve hi for him. Steve, I don't know if he's here or not anymore. Steve always wants to make sure everything's running great in his centers, and I told him you have nothing to worry about. Get the heck out of here. Let us do what we're doing. So I think he took my advice. I don't think he's here. So I'll let him know that you said hi, though, if I see him.
Do a 7-minute eliminator, you want to, okay, you just divide it out that way? Okay, all right.
Alrighty, so we got game 2 on the way. We had a little bit of a scoring issue. We got it taken care of. He'll get standings here shortly. In the meantime, we'll throw some strikes. On 35 and 6, we have Dylan Burns, who people that watch Inside Bowling, he set the 9-game record at Holiday Doubles a couple years ago, as he's throwing on 35 right now. 10 back, no problem. He set the 9-game record. I think that got broke actually by Tony Resnick, who is in this squad as well, but at the time. He's bowling with Trevor Bumgardner, a lefty out of the Kansas City area. With them is local superstar Casey Murphy, my partner in crime. We bowl most things together. We didn't bowl this together because I dumped him for a better partner who ended up dumping me to throw a opening pitch to a White Sox game. So thanks Chris Vi for that. I'm just kidding. That's a really cool experience. So he's bowling with Austin Bolts out of Wichita, Kansas. And then on 37 and 38 we got Eddie Foster and Woody Woods, a local team, and they are bowling with, I can't quite see, another local group, Jimmy House and Cameron Owens. So that's what we have on 35 through 38 right now. As right now we have Dylan and Trevor with spare double. And then we have front 3 for Austin Bolts, in case he just missed for double, 9 spare. So early on, but we have some strikes on the board. 33 and 34, there's a couple misses. Tough to say. When scores are this high and early on like this, you're just going to see a lot of strikes, and people get a little intimidated by that, but scores will fall off. You got a lot of rev rate. You got a lot of oil in the middle part of the lane. They're using that oil right now. That oil will disappear eventually. So, like I said, scores I think will come down the last couple. When I say come down, they're not just going to plummet, but they will come down some. Little flat 10 for Dylan on 36. That's where I say I think that's going to come into play, where there's going to be so much oil getting carried down the middle part of the lane. When guys want to start trying to get their angle steeper, when I say steeper is throw it further away from their target. So if a right-hander is standing pretty far left, he's throwing it pretty far right. I think when people start to throw it a little steeper, they're going to see their ball not pick up in the right part of the lane, and that's where you're going to start leaving wrap 10s, flat 10s, messenger 7s. You know, again, they're pretty easy. I don't think people are just going to start missing the pocket, but to get your ball to go through the pins the right way, you start seeing that carry down and your ball's not picking up in the right spot. That's where you'll start seeing a lot of 9 counts, and you'll see a lot of guys banging their heads in to try to shoot 230, and they only get out with 210. Casey and Austin. That's the sleeper pick right there. I kind of wanted to buy them in a Calcutta. We had a Calcutta last night. For people that don't know what a Calcutta is, it's just an auction on the field. You can buy anybody you want. If you think they're going to win, you're just auctioning off teams and buying them. So they went for pretty cheap. I didn't buy anybody, unfortunately. But that's a good team. Casey knows this whole center like the back of his hand. He practices daily here. He bowls very well at the Greater Ozarks Open every year. And I just get on his back and he carries me every time we bowl the Ozarks together. Dylan making a ball change. That's the hit right there. Did you see him just blow her 7-10? It looks close, but it just doesn't want to pick up in the right part of the lane. And that's where the talent comes in on learning how to strike when they're easy. Is how do you not get 9 a couple times a game? It's easier said than done sometimes.
I think I've got the scoreboards pretty much dialed in here, so I'm fairly happy with that for the folks at home. So which should be good there. Dylan Burns also bowled an incredible holiday doubles a couple years ago.
Way ahead of you.
You already talked about it?
I talked him up, and I told everyone who's on the pair. I told him what he did if they were watching back then. And he set the record. It got broke, though, by Tony, but he did have
really?
a record time. Yeah. Tony shot like $1 trillion at state this last year.
Oh, Resnick, yeah.
Yeah, he had like 830, 820, 830 or something stupid.
That's right.
But, yeah, I did fill them in that if they were watching holiday doubles that year, he bowled with Aaron Ramsden.
That's right. Because Aaron Ramsden was walking around the bowling center talking to everybody about how bad he was bowling compared to his partner.
Well, everyone was bowling bad compared to his partner, technically.
Yeah,
but,
that's true. That's true.
Casey, trip 4-pin.
Now, you and Casey used to bowl doubles together all the time.
Yeah. So I kind of touched on that. We bowl everything together. Casey is definitely my mentor. I would not be bowling today if it was not for Casey Murphy, and I can honestly put that much credit on him for it. So we bowl everything together, but he wasn't sure if he was going to be able to bowl this year, and Chris Vi was going to come down and do the coaching clinic and come up and hang out with me. And so Chris asked, hey, am I bowling with you? Do I need to find a partner? And I was like, And so I told Casey, and he's like, yeah, dump me for the U.S. Open champ. I'm okay with it. I will not be mad at all. And I said, all right. So we were going to bowl, and then Chris got asked to throw the opening pitch at a White Sox game. So Chris bailed on me. And then and I told Casey, and then Casey's like, well, I have someone lined up, but he might not be able to bowl. I'll let you know. Then a couple weeks went by, and Casey didn't let me know. And so I asked Justin Knowles to bowl. And then like a day later, Casey's like, well, do you want to bowl? And I was like, well, damn it, I already got another partner. And he's like, oh, my God, okay, I'll get Austin. And then Justin had to back out on me. And I was like, Casey, you're going to love this. I need a partner again. And he's like, well, I don't think I can do that to Austin. I was like, no, you're good. I just had to tell you because I thought it was funny. So that's why they're bowling together.
And you're bowling with?
I'm bowling with Eddie Byrd now.
Right, okay.
I wasn't going to bowl, to be honest, after, I don't know, it's kind of like the world telling me, like, yeah, just sit back and do your thing. But Eddie's been bowling great, and he had messaged me a couple times looking for a partner, and I was like, I need to bowl with Eddie. Like, he's looking for a partner, he can't find one, and he's a very good bowler.
He is, the Birdman.
And I like Eddie a lot, so I was like, I'll bowl with you.
By the way, Kevin, I got to tell you.
Okay.
Eddie Byrd. I'm not on Facebook as much as I used to be.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, I subscribe to Eddie Byrd.
Okay.
Just because I've known Eddie for so long from the St. Louis area. He's always treated me with great respect.
Yes.
And just a good guy and a very underrated player throughout the country. He's well known in the area, but throughout the country, he could have done some good things in bowling if he'd really applied himself to it. I know he tried some of the tour stuff early on, but I think he had a bit of a squeeze factor going on. I'm getting way down in the weeds now,
yeah.
But he needed to bowl and he needed to make money right away. That was his way to make money. It didn't really work out, but, he's been a great player. He's been able to supplement his income with great bowling. He's bowled with some incredible players in the USBC Open Championships. He's bowled with Stephanie and Chris Johnson in the past. Anyway, he's highly decorated locally. But I do pay attention to his social media I don't know why, but he's just one of the guys that I do. And this man recently has been tearing it up.
Yeah, that's why I was
Dude.
like, okay, I can't not bowl.
Dude, he bowled like 870 the last 2 games in a tournament and his first game of league. And anyway, he's averaging, I would say probably his last 25 games, I bet he's averaging 240, 250.
Yeah, I
so
know.
you have the Byrd man flying high at the right time right now. So you've kind of fallen into some luck here.
That's why I couldn't turn it down. He told me, he's like, thanks again for bowling with me, like making it sound like it's a big privilege for him. I'm like, dude, bring those shoes you've been wearing recently,
exactly.
and I'm hopping on. Like you get to strike, and I'm gonna hop on.
Who's bowling leadoff and who's bowling second? Do you know?
Doesn't matter as long as he averages 270.
Yeah. Eddie's incredible, man.
He's a good bowler.
He really is.
He throws it really good.
And he's good. And he's one of those hybrid bowlers. He's good on house and sport. But
he just knows the game.
Yeah.
If he, Eddie's one of the bowlers is a good example of if he decided he wanted to do this full time and he practiced and he put in the hours, he could do it. He just has other things that go on with his life that being a full-time bowler is not for everybody. Having families and kids and stuff, it makes it hard because you're on the road so much, and it's tough. It's mentally tough. So, but he's one of the guys that if he wanted to do it, talent-wise, he could do it. He's a good bowler.
And I don't want to make this the I love Eddie Byrd moment here, but I got to tell you, every time I've ran an event or I've worked an event, he's one of the guys that comes up at the end and goes, "Thanks for everything this weekend. Great job. Appreciate it. See you down the road. Thanks, buddy. Hey." And also anytime there's some sort of charity thing going on, doesn't matter what it is, but on Facebook somebody passes away, whatever, there's Eddie Byrd always saying, my condolences to you, or if there's a fundraiser or a raffle, he's always one of the first ones to fire in. And Eddie he's dealt with some tragic loss in his life, with his parents and stuff like that. And, he constantly brings up, stuff that matters in the world, and it doesn't get caught up in all the pettiness. So
just a good human.
It's another reason why I root for Eddie Byrd. Some folks in the chat also saying Pete's ball driller is Eddie Byrd, meaning Pete Weber, obviously. And their team name at Nationals was "Who is Eddie Byrd?" was their team name.
That's
so
funny.
Pretty funny. So good luck to you guys, man.
I appreciate it. It's going to be fun. It makes it a lot easier, even if you bowl bad, if you're bowling with someone that is a good time, a good spirit. So, whether we strike or not, get first or last, it doesn't matter. We'll have a good time. I like Eddie a lot, so it'll be fun. I've never really bowled with him, so, on his team.
So he's a great teammate. I'll tell you what, when when the St. Louis area had the Grand Prix Shootout, it was a huge team event for many years.
Yep.
Eddie Byrd in his younger days would bowl on some of those teams, and if I remember correctly, he would bowl leadoff. He was the guy that always got the feel. Yep, exactly.
Sambo and Josh Imhoff are bowling, Larry. Yes. I don't know what they're shooting. They're down on the lower end. I can kind of see Josh throw a shot right now, and it looks like he just 10-pinned. So, but they are bowling. They'll be on the live stream pair or close to it here in about a game or two. So Austin bowls front 7, make that front 8. Casey doesn't want to bowl with me because Austin strikes. That's why.
Yeah, you've kind of you talked a little bit about you and Casey getting you in, really taking your game to the next level, coaching you, helping you. I remember bowling or streaming the holiday doubles probably going on 8-10 years ago now, and all of a sudden Casey Murphy shows up and goes, "I'm bowling with a kid by the name of Kevin Williams. He's awesome. He's out of Springfield." And he was the one who was kind of taking you around, showing you off as like his new gold prize, and
more bronze prize.
Yeah, well, and that was cool. That was cool. I remember covering you back then when I didn't know you at all, and then seeing you, make some shows and stuff, and what you've done with your career has been great. But you've also teamed up and you've bowled really well with Justin Knowles as well. We were at the Nightmare Doubles, right?
Yep.
Isn't that where it was?
Yep, in Jonesboro.
We had dinner, and you guys took that thing home.
No, we didn't.
Or did you guys lead? How well did you guys do?
I don't know what place we finished, like 3rd or 4th maybe?
Didn't you guys win something together?
Me and Justin didn't, no.
No?
No. We've only bowled one time together.
What have you won? You've won something on my live stream.
What did I win on your live stream?
I mean, it's been 10 years now I've been live streaming. So, I mean, man, I'm 42 now, so my memory's really going. I just remember there was some event where you just absolutely tore it up.
I can't even recall.
I can't either.
I barely remember like the last event I bowled, to be honest with you. I just can't keep up anymore. I know I miss the IB Open days because that was my favorite event. You put out a pattern that just was in my wheelhouse. Remember the first year I started getting pretty good at bowling. I led that event for a good amount going
Maybe
into the
that's
final
what I'm
match
thinking
play.
about.
That's when Bill O'Neill was crushing them, and I had him by like 50 for like 7 games.
I think that's what I'm thinking about.
I started off the Cashers round 300, 300, 268. And I wasn't that good a bowler yet, but I was like, yo, I'm the greatest there ever was. Like, who's Bill O'Neill? And I was like, beat him by like 20. But, and then I ended up missing the show anyways. I fell off in match play. But that's when I started kind of figuring things out a little bit. But, I mean, you've had so many events streamed, and I bowl so often, I can't keep up. I don't know.
Yeah, hey, Donnie here is making some. You said this a couple times in the chat, and I glossed over it earlier because we were during our open. But want to mention again, sending condolences out to Harry Tiger Smith and Roy Buckley's families. They both will be missed in the bowling world.
I saw that.
I've got one more for you too. A local guy, Paul Deering in the St. Louis area.
I also saw that.
He could bowl left-handed and right-handed. I think Paul spent some time down here too, didn't he?
I'm not sure. I've heard stories about him, but I'm not good with the bowling history. I just wasn't around it very much not that long ago.
He went into hospice care last week. Reynold Blondin posted about it, and Paul Deering passed away, I saw yesterday. So condolences out to his family as well.
Hate to hear that. I hate to hear that. Yeah, I'm not, I was never really a bowler until I was about like 19 years old when Casey took me in. So I don't know bowling history that well. Old-time bowlers, PBA guys. I played basketball and baseball. I had no clue.
Yeah.
I wasn't a big bowler until I decided to make a little bit of money. So we got Austin Bolts here in 35. He has the front 9. I'm not a black cloud. I can't even say it because I'm not one.
Well, I am. That's what they call me when I work for the other organizations.
Well, then you just shut up and let me call this one.
I'm usually not on Inside Bowling, but when I go and work for other people,
Right.
Bowl TV and stuff like that, that's what they call me. All the tour reps, everybody.
Anyone that brings a camera or says anything is a black crowd. So front 9, Austin Bolts. Misses in a little bit. Light mixer.
Trips that 4-pin forward.
I'm not a cloud. Front 10 for Austin. I used to bowl. They have a member guest PBA regional in Shawnee, Oklahoma every year, and me and Austin used to bowl it. I haven't bowled it the last couple of years because of my schedule or whatever, but we bowled it 3 straight years, and we finished 2nd, 3rd, and 3rd. We bowled very well together, and I just haven't bowled that event since then. But I jokingly, he was in there drilling on our press real quick, and I let the guy having the shop know, hey, Austin's good. And I was like, he can drill, it's fine. I used to bowl with him, and then Austin's like, yeah, you took away my free money weekends. Like, I don't make free money anymore because I don't bowl with you. And I was like, oh, shut up. Austin's good. Front 10. No black cloud here. That one's better. That one got to the spot. 10 back, no problem. The other one got in, and like I said, they fall pretty easy here if your ball's reading the right part of the lane, which his is. So he missed in on that first one. Light tickler, no problem.
So yeah, 44 feet in length, this house condition here, very high scores. We're going to see a lot of 300s. Francois Lavoie had won the first game, and now we've got Austin Bolds up looking for 300 here on lane 35 in game number 2.
You think he shoots 300?
I'll set the over at 9.5, and I'm going to take the under.
Okay. I think he's got it. This one's getting right off his hand. Oh! What a quitter. 299 for Austin Bolds. That's a good game. It's a very good game. Casey can get up there and shoot 238, but he has missed on this left lane the last 2 times. He's gone flat 10, which tells me the lane is a little bit tighter. Casey's going to move right and throw it a little harder. That's his go-to move. That's what he likes to do.
Folks were asking about Tim and Shea. Shea bowled 279. Tim can bowl 226. Also Sapolis and Aaron O'Brien. Aaron O'Brien with 10 pin there in the 10th frame will be in the 220s. 229 a max score. Mike Sapolis can still get to 257.
Casey moves right, throws it harder, as predicted. 10 back. It's 220. Another one gets them to 230. 530 is a good team score, I'll say.
Didn't Casey win when they sold Cherokee Lanes to
Yes.
Bass Pro Shop?
I knew it was 91, but I didn't know if they built it or not. But I knew that they opened in 91. Brad's been around the Weimers for a while. Worked in the shops.
They used to have a
When
bunch
I
of
was a little
pictures
wee
in
one.
here. Everybody that bowled 300 games, but then
We took them down because we painted.
and the game kind of exploded, and you'd have to start putting them on the ceiling.
Exactly. We have some awesome photos of some
I'm
old.
sure.
We've got like some Chris Barn mullet photos and like some Sean Swanson mullet photos. We got some old photos of good bowlers that have come through over the years. The Ozarks has attracted so many superstars.
Oh,
Young
yeah.
Sean Rashes and Brian O'Keefe. When people didn't know Brian O'Keefe as the coach, they knew him as the All-American bowler.
Yep.
He has the doubles record in this house, him and his partner, which I can't think off the top of my head who he bowled with. Another superstar, but they shot 589 for a game. They have a photo. A lot of history with the photos, but we took them down when they painted, and I don't think they're putting them back up, unfortunately. So, and meanwhile, all the bowling I've done in this center and all the honor scores I have, and the only photo they have of me is a 709 series as a youth bowler. So it used to be hung up in the pro shop, and Lloyd, the guy that's running our brackets, anytime someone would come in and he was in there, he would always make a jab at me and be like, 709, is that your high series ever? And people would be like, oh, that's a pretty good series. Like being a jerk because he knows it's not even close to that. But I would just be like, yeah, I was pretty decent when I was a youth bowler. I suck now.
Yeah, one thing about bowling is it's all about family and a community, and there's often times on these airwaves that I get a little caught up too much into that, and I don't really try to be a Debbie Downer or anything, but I got to tell you today, for whatever reason, there's a little bit of emotion in my mind, being September 11th and the 20th anniversary of that. I don't like to harp on that too much, but it is like they say, never forget a moment like that.
20 years.
20
It's
years
crazy.
ago, yeah.
20 years. That was, I get the chills when I think about that stuff. I was very young, and I still could comprehend that was insane what happened there. So, yeah, never forget 20 years ago. Wild. I really do get the chills when I think about it. I try not to think about that stuff too much because, you don't want to dwell on that stuff. Obviously, don't forget about it, but you just got to move on as a country and stay strong with that stuff.
How old are you now?
28.
28. So I'm 42. I got 14 years on you, right? So as you get older, man, I'm just going to tell you, and I'm sure you've already experienced this, it's like you just can't take anything for granted.
I definitely can agree with that now.
It's unbelievable.
It's wild. Everyone lives their own lives. Everyone has different paths and everyone's upbringings. That's one of my favorite things when I'm talking with people is hearing people's upbringings. It doesn't have to be a horror story, good, bad. It doesn't matter. It's crazy to hear where you grew up at, where you came from, what your family was like, what your goals are. That's my favorite thing is to have conversations with people and hear how different it is from person to person on how you look at life, how you came up, and the morals you were taught. Really, it's crazy. So. You don't know what impact you have on certain people's lives, and you don't know what they've been through and stuff. So you just gotta, don't take anything for granted. Every relationship you build with people and conversations you have, you never know what that leads to. So, and where they'll be the next day.
Yeah, I remember you and I didn't even know each other that well. We went to a hibachi place one time.
Man, you turned it up a notch. you brought a whole new Mike Flanagan for me. I wasn't quite prepared for it, but it was a blast.
Well, you got to be not quite right in the head to be involved in the bowling business, and when I'm on air or when I'm in a professional setting, I try even though I do take some risks here and there with what I say or what I do, but when I'm just out with my friends, I'm no different.
Fly.
I'm no different than the rest of you guys.
Let it fly, yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the other things about broadcasting and having inside bowling, and then these agreements with the different companies over the years that I've worked with, did consulting work with, and represented their brands. You're always on stage. And it's my brand and my livelihood at stake. And there's been a lot of times people have said to me, "Oh, Mike, you should do this," or "How come you're not speaking out about this? I know you probably feel this way." I'm like, "Oh, I gotta walk that tough tightrope there. It's not easy."
Well, and to not touch up on too much, but I'll just say this: the world's very sensitive right now.
It is.
It is it's hard to have humor these days because it offends a lot of people. people take everything too serious now. It just it sucks, but it is what it is. The world is a little sensitive now.
We have now moved into game number 3. We're watching lanes 27 through 30, and young Mr. Francois Lavoie and Christopher Sloan have now moved into our viewing area. We've also got
Josh Emhoff, Sambo Butler.
and
the
then
lefties.
right next door we've also got Venezuela and Shirley and Stearns and Nelson. It looks like
Yes.
Chad Nelson.
and
That's
Chad
that's
Nelson.
another guy who is a legend.
Good bowler. Been
Little
around
little
for a
little
while.
north of our area.
Yep.
But he is a legend.
I know the name very well.
Legend.
I don't bowl too many stuff that he bowls because he is so far north.
North,
but
yep.
I know exactly who he is. So I appreciate them coming down and making the trip to come bowl. Very nice guy. I've only talked with him a couple times briefly, but very nice guy.
Very quiet. Very
Yes,
quiet.
Very to himself, very quiet.
But if you talk to anybody that has bowled events with that man, he is tough as nails.
Yep.
And the harder they are, the better he is.
Yep.
But again, he'll come down. He'll like a hybrid. He'll come down. He'll bowl on this. You know, average 270.
He'll crush
for
'em.
you know, yeah. He's and he's not flashy either.
Yep.
He
Well,
kind of
you know,
keeps it in
He's a
front
vet.
of him. Yeah.
Seasoned vet. He's
Yep.
been doing this for a while. He just understands what he's got to do out here. As we start getting into game 3, I start to see how people's balls are going through the pins. Where a game and a half ago, everyone had the front 4. We already have 8, 9 counts, 9 spare, 8 dash. A lot of people are starting to find that they're not getting their ball through the pins quite right. Seeing that transition, seeing all that oil, but you don't want to quite move in too much yet because there's so much oil in the middle part of the lane. And this is where it gets tricky to try to keep up that 250 pace when your ball doesn't go through the pins the right way and you got 9 spare, 9 spare, 9 spare to start a game. That's when you start pressing a little bit because you know you need another 8-bagger. And that turns into 2-0 because you're trying too much, too fast.
Hey, before I get too carried away this weekend as well, Kevin, I want to thank you for having me down.
Thank you for coming.
For the event. You know, my schedule has opened up a bit more, and as long as you continue to run this event, you know, we got a deal moving forward.
We want to have you. We wanted to do it the first year, but we were unsure how it was going to go.
Yep.
And I had talked with you anyways, and I was like, well,
You
we'll
did.
let you know because I just want to see how year 1 goes before we start doing all the extras. And, you know, we had 96 teams last year, a great year 1. And I said, yeah, we got to run with it. We got to get Mike in here. We got to have people watching this event so they can come to it next year. You know how it goes. So, yeah, thank you for coming. Thank you for making the trip. I'm glad we could sneak you in here while
Yeah,
you're driving all over America.
Yeah, it's pretty convenient, though, because, you know, I have that other event next weekend up in Iowa.
Yeah. Are they full for that?
Not yet. You can head over to giba-bowling.com. They are actually a little bit less entries because Maple Lanes has been rebuilt with
really?
4 less lanes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, because, you know, it burnt down.
Yes, I did.
They had that tragic situation where some people broke in and then set the place on fire.
It's terrible.
And now they've rebuilt it as a bowling center. They didn't sell the land or anything they could have, but they've rebuilt it, and supposedly it's beautiful. I've seen pictures.
Oh, okay.
They've also got 4 duck pin lanes in there as well.
Oh, that is awesome.
And I want to go in there and throw down.
That is awesome.
So, yeah,
That is
really
awesome.
cool. Really cool.
I haven't bowled what used to be the Fusion. I know
Yep.
it's probably changed to the
That's the Ebonite Fall and
Classic,
Winter Classic.
yes.
Yep.
I just call it the Fusion because I'm so used to that.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
But the couple years that I was bowling it, never a good weekend for me somehow. But such a great event. The staff down there is great. It's ran amazing. They get so many bowlers. It's just all around a good event. I love it. I wish I didn't miss it as much as I do, but it is kind of far from me. So sometimes I can't justify driving 9 hours.
9
by
hours,
myself.
yeah, I know. And I use St. Louis as a hub still, so I fly into St. Louis with my live streaming equipment and my additional live streaming equipment, and I got to drive 6.5 up to Waterloo.
Yeah, it's tough.
and I could fly into Minneapolis, but that's like 5.5 anyway. So,
Right.
yeah, it is kind of tough to get to.
It's a weird area, and the problem I have with being the guy that bowls full time on the road in Springfield is I don't have anyone to really travel with.
Yeah.
So I usually have to make those checks alone. It's not hard to drive, but it's just boring.
Yeah,
It's just
it is.
mentally boring. Casey has won that event a couple times.
2 times,
he
yeah.
crushes that event.
He has.
But I don't know if I think he has still bowled. It just usually never a good weekend for me. Otherwise, I would bowl it. But yeah, great event. If you guys don't know about it and you're close to there, you need to bowl it. 100%.
Yeah, September and February every year.
Yep. I made sure to get a hold of him and make sure that we didn't clash on our weekends. I didn't want to try to battle with an event that's already amazing and we're only in year 2. And, you know, you got to work together in the bowling industry. There's only so much going around as is. So that's the problem that I have sometimes in industry is that people just want to be like every man for themselves. And you can't quite do that at times, you know. I understand it's a competitor's field, but sometimes you got to work together. So I'm glad that we didn't book weekends on the same time. And I hope he has the biggest turnout he can get. And I'm sure he will.
Folks can check out the most recent roster that you've posted on the Facebook page, right? And that is what's the name of that page?
It is called Springfield Double Shootout 2021. Got the roster on there. My Facebook page, I've been posting a little bit on it. We aren't quite to the fan base like Holiday Doubles has, so where we can make our own tournament page, but we might be doing that here soon. But for now, it's just on the event page.
Hey, this came through a little bit ago, but Sue Hess, who's an angel and a saint,
and has a
for
two-time titleist.
Well, for having to put up with Tom, but says Tom and I spent in the morning at the pool watching bowling. How'd Nate and Cam bowl game 1? We are working on the standings. We're working through that.
Yeah. So what happened was, and this happened the first year we ran it, there's a glitch sometimes when you go to skip those pairs and your scores follow you, that it doesn't follow all of them. I think he had to do away with that. I think that's what happened, so I think he's got to run down scores now. So it might be a second for him to just figure that out real quick.
Yep.
We'll try to get that to you as soon as possible.
Nick Pate and Brad Miller are bowling together, so let's see what else in here. I know you guys have mentioned Resnick and Aldridge, but how do you guys think those two will do? Well, they can strike when there's a spot to throw to, so probably pretty well.
Cody was leading after 3 last night. He had like 8-12 or something. I don't know what he shot the last game. I think he bowled a bad game and kind of fell down a little bit, but I know he was bowling really well the first 3. Those guys know how to strike. Like I said, Tony has the 9-game record now. At state, he shot like 2,500 or something stupid.
Yeah, something ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, you know what's funny about Tony is he used to practice in the afternoons at Crest Bowl when I was managing the place.
Really?
Yeah, when he was like 12.
How old is he? Do you know?
Well, let me think about this for a minute. I want to say, I bet he is 16 years younger than me. I'm 42. I bet he's 26.
Okay.
I'm going to be within a couple years there. Jay France, he says, say it how it is, Mike. You could be the Howard Stern of the live stream bowling world. Well, that's a huge compliment if that was the case, but I got a lot of work to do to get there. Let's see. Have they posted scores yet? We're working on it. And Scott Hopkins giving us a shout out here today. We want to welcome in all 295 viewers here on Inside Bowling.
Thank you guys for tuning in.
Our channel's continuing to grow here as we put out instructional content on a weekly basis.
Backstage?
Yeah, we got the Backstage Bowling product. If you're looking to interact with 4 of, in my opinion, the greatest bowling coaches in the world, which are Brian and Shannon O'Keefe, along with Mike Jasnow and Mike Shady, you can join Backstage Bowling. You can use coupon code SAVE20 to save $20 off an annual subscription. And what it is you can post videos, you can interact with the coaches, you can also participate in our live streams. And it's a real, there's a lot of instructional content out on YouTube, including our channel that we present for free.
Yes.
However,
have one-to-one.
all it is just talking to you.
General.
You don't get to talk back.
Right.
But in Backstage, you get to talk back and continue the conversation about your game. So check that out.
It is amazing. Brian O'Keefe is one of the most highly talked about people out of my own mouth. The O'Keefes, just like, I can't talk good enough about them. They are incredibly humbling people. They are the most loving, nice, generous people you'll ever meet, and they are obviously so well known in the bowling industry. Brian's one of the smartest guys there is. Shannon's a sweetheart. She's one of the best female bowlers there ever was. To be able to talk with them one-on-one, like you said, when you get on YouTube, to touch briefly on this, I think that the instructional videos hurt the bowling industry at times, and I say that as in when people come into my shop, they'll tell me, hey, I saw this video by J.R. Raymond. He said to do this. I don't know what that means, Mike, but drill my ball like that because J.R. Raymond said it. And I'm not saying that J.R. doesn't know what he's talking about, but again, they're just talking to a camera and they're giving you general knowledge, but people don't know how to pick up on that knowledge sometimes. Backstage bowling, they will in-depth tell you, and you can ask them questions. So it's great what you guys are doing. I got a free subscription. I'm in the group page. They let me sneak in there, so I always get to see kind of what's going on. I just love to see the interactions going on with that, so it's amazing. If you guys don't know about it, you need to. That one-on-one is everything. That one-on-one is everything. So
yeah, we give away a bowling ball every month. There's a lot of value added to it, so it's a cool thing that we put together. We put that together during the pandemic when we were kind of bored.
Yeah.
But you know, and you talked about Brian and Shannon, but you know, you got Mike Jasnow in there, who's probably the only person I know that's been coaching for 30 years consecutively full time. That's what he does.
I haven't really talked to both Mikes that much.
Every day, all day, his job is to coach.
Yes, I know
year round for 30 years.
Very, very credible guy.
That's what he does. So that's somebody else you get in there. And then when you talk about Mike Shady, he's juggling a lot of things in his life, but he's in there commenting every single day, and he is probably the best mental coach in bowling. He works with a lot, and he's so soft-spoken.
The most important.
He doesn't ever go out and beat his chest and say, oh, I just helped this person. Congratulations on winning. He's behind the scenes. Like I was talking to Lindsay Boomershine at the PWBA Kickoff Classic this year, and she was bowling really, really well, like really taking the next step.
Yeah.
She's still having some demons when she makes it to the finals, but she's working through those. And I asked her, I said, you know, what's made you be able to bowl so much better? And she goes, oh, Mike Shady.
Really?
And I go, I work with Mike Shady. He's a business partner of mine, and I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a little bit about Mike Shady.
He doesn't care about the glam.
No.
He just does it because that's his job.
Yeah,
he just wants people to be successful. That's awesome.
As a matter of fact, I knew what a great coach that he was, and that's why I decided to approach him and say, hey, man, you want to do some instructional videos on YouTube? He's like, oh, I'd love to. I'd like to coach when I retire from teaching because he's a full-time teacher.
Oh, okay.
High school teacher. And he teaches business classes and everything, yeah. And he goes, yeah, I'd love to do that. It'll help me, you know, springboard my coaching career.
Wow.
And if you talk to all the people in our backstage group, if it was tied, if everybody was tied in a vote, they would tell Shady to make the final call.
Really?
That's the kind of respect the guy has.
Wow.
And he's probably the least talked about person in our group.
I'd love to have some conversations with him.
You should. He would love to talk to you.
I love something about meeting people in the industry that just know more than me. I love to soak it all in. That's why I love talking with Brian O'Keefe as much as I do. Every time I'm with him, I don't personally, if we're not in a bowling alley, if I'm not commentating with you, if I'm not bowling, helping ball rep my friends and their qualifying squad, I don't like to talk about bowling, to be honest. When we went to the hibachi place, did we talk about bowling at all?
No,
not for a second,
no.
And I love that. I do enough bowling talk. But when I get around Brian, and I always say sorry to him, but I'm like, Brian, I never want to talk about bowling, but when I get around you, I always want to just talk bowling with him because he's just so smart. So I'm sure both Mikes are the same way. I would soak it up with them as well. Yeah, it's such a great group to have with the backstage bowling. That stuff really is an awesome idea. To get back in touch with the bowling out here in front of us, Tim and Shay doing what Tim and Shay do. They actually won the doubles event at the Greater Ozarks Open here in this bowling center. Shay has the front 7. Tim has spare 6-bagger. So it's like they've done that a time or two. That's on 33 and 4. So we don't have them on a camera, but I will keep you guys posted on that if they can shoot 590. How's Frankie and Sloan bowling down there? I saw Frankie's in front of the ball return already.
They both got a, 241 still left for Sloan, 265 for Frankie.
41, what a weird score.
Yeah, well, when your ball goes sideways off the end of the pattern, that can happen once in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, the other thing about live streaming, Kev, is, you know, all these other live streaming services present additional channels.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where you can pick your pairs and things like that.
Yep.
So at some point here in the next, I don't know, 6 months to 12 months, I'm going to have to make an investment in to be able to at least have one more channel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it'd be awesome.
The only thing that's been holding me back on that is yes, it's a financial cost, but I do reinvest in this, you know, every year.
Right.
Is the bandwidth in the bowling centers.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? Because when you're piping out 2 feeds, it takes double the bandwidth.
Yes.
And that's always a concern of mine.
And bowling alleys are dungeons of connection.
They are.
Always.
They are.
They're never great. Never great.
But, you know, when a PBA or PWBA or Junior Gold or something goes in, it's part of their contracts. You have to have this much internet or we won't come there.
We won't come?
Right.
I mean, it makes sense.
And typically with a guy like you for a weekend bowling event or Joe or whatever, you know, we can't make those sorts of demands upon a bowling center for an event that they're already discounting a lineage and giving a deal and, you know, things like that. So
yeah,
we do the best we
scale.
can.
Much different scale. I understand that. Shay's got the front 8 as he steps up on 34.
Yeah, and a little housekeeping for you as well with the way that I do have the camera set up here. I think when we get down to the final few teams, if we can use 35 through 38 and then 27 through 30.
Yeah.
And then that gives a buffer area.
I haven't even made the bracket yet, so when I go to make that, I'll verify that with you so I can make it do what it does with that.
Yeah, those will be those. So I do also have the wireless camera, and Kim will be assisting throughout the rest of the event. She hit up a local workout class this morning, but she'll be here the rest of the day to be able to help with score inputting and stuff like that. So.
Sweet.
Once again, if you're just tuning in, my name is Mike Flanagan here on Inside Bowling. You're probably familiar with my face and my voice, but also joining me is Kevin Williams. It's Kevin Williams' event. I know he's got a lot of folks here that help put it on. Who are the folks that help you with this event throughout the weekend?
So for the people that work here, CT is actually Chris Taylor. He is the manager here. He is actually the tournament director. When we thought of this idea, I told him I still wanted to be able to bowl this event. You know, bowling is my job, but I know a lot of bowlers as much as I travel, and I said I want to be the promoter of the event. I'm not going to do anything but putting out there the event, reaching out to people and trying to bring in entries, but he has say on format, pattern, all that stuff. So he is the tournament director. Steve Weimer is the proprietor here. We have our bracket guys in the back with Shane and Lloyd, and then we have a couple sponsors. Ben Crazy, that is actually CT's brother's business. That just started up in April last year. It's a crazy idea, and they are taking off. They actually get Amazon pallets of what would be returned items and things like that from Amazon and from Best Buy, and they buy these pallets in bulk, and they buy a bunch of pallets where you just have 40, 50, 60 items in it, and they sell everything for $10 or less. I'll pull them out in a second. So you walk into this place, and it's like a big warehouse, and it's just full of bins of just anything and everything.
Really?
You can find AirPods, you can find toothbrushes, and everything in between. So you go in there, and they have, on Mondays, it's like $2 Monday. You walk in, everything is $2. So whatever you find, you can find Beats headphones, you can find PlayStations, you can find just silverware, $2. You just get a bag and you fill it up, and it's mayhem. They have lines around the building. It's crazy. It is insane, and they are taking off. It's just an insane business concept, and it's doing really well for them. So Ben Crazy is one of our sponsors. The other one is Wise Guys. They are a screen printing company. Anything you need to print it on anything, they got it. So, and then obviously we have Brunswick Bowling. I am sponsored, and I am on contract with Columbia 300, who is bought up by Brunswick, the best 7 brands there are. And then we have the Greater Ozarks Open and the Greater Ozarks Pro Shops. So the Greater Ozarks Open, if you guys have never bowled it or heard about the Greater Ozarks Open, it is the second biggest tournament in the nation. It is a team singles doubles event, just like Nationals, here in Springfield, Missouri. Last couple of years, entries have been down a little bit due to COVID, obviously, but everyone's dealing with that. but we run from February to June. So if you guys want any information on that, if you guys want to sign up, get a hold of me, message me. It's an event you don't want to miss. It has a lot of money in it. It's a handicap event. You know, it's a good weekend getaway for people. We have the biggest aquarium in the nation here in Springfield at our Bass Pro. A lot of people come here and go straight to Bass Pro. So we have things to do. We have nice golf courses. Branson has a lot to do. That's 30 minutes from here. So that's the people that helped us get this thing going. We want to grow and get bigger. We want to get more brands involved. You know, I like to keep you guys are on the flyer now, Inside Bowling. We're glad to have you guys. And, you know, having you guys come in and live stream will just bridge to more relationships with other companies that want to get involved on what is going to be the bigger picture as we keep moving with this. So we don't have too many sponsors right now, and we're so thankful for them. And we hope that it turns into 100 sponsors and all the money we can pay out and all the bowlers we can have in this center. You know, we're not trying to get rich off this. We don't take too much lineage. We just want to be able to cover our costs and see people have a good weekend and come to Springfield, you know. So that's the overall goal.
That's awesome. You talked about as the lanes transition that the scores might come down a little bit. You know, we saw Chad Nelson go through the face there. We saw Frankie post 243 up on the board. Sloan can get to 221, first shot in the 10th here, and leaves the week 10 as he's moving in on the lanes. Does the carry get a little bit more difficult here as you start to move in on the lanes?
Monster first score.
Yep.
88, 89, sitting on 279.
Yeah, so like I was saying earlier, there's so much friction in this center. So your ball's always going to hook. But when we put out more oil, that oil's just going to carry down. So you're going to see your ball hook in the middle part lane. It's going to try to go pretty straight. Then when people want to try to make it hook, they're going to find that early friction. And it just gets so hard to get the pins to fall the right way whenever everyone knows. It's like I got to shoot 240, 250 every game. It gets hard when you have 3 misses through 5 frames, because then you look up and you say, well, I can't miss. I got to throw a 9-bagger. Then you squeeze. Then you don't throw one great. Then you might split. Next thing you know, you're trying to bail out 210, 2-0 whenever everyone's shooting 240 around you. So, again, it's a talent to strike when they're this easy. It really is. It's just a different mindset. As Tim and Shay shoot 568, 299, 269. Shay doesn't get it done in the 12th. He was probably nervous. He's probably never had an opportunity to shoot 300 in this building. Such a good bowler.
We'll flip over to lanes 35 through 38 as they're just finishing up here. Aaron O'Brien at 234. Suppose can still bowl 217, it looks like.
Well, Mike, I'm going to step away for a quick second. I got to go make a score sheet because we have to figure out these scores.
Okay, you got it.
I'm going to come sneak back in because I love doing the commentating. So
yeah, appreciate it, bro.
I'll eat it up.
All right. All right, so if you notice, Kevin finished with the words, eat it up. When he comes back, I'm going to challenge him to write a rap song right here with us, freestyle. Eat it up is going to be the tagline I think we'll use for that. So appreciate Kevin spending some time here in the booth. This is Kevin's event. It was his brainchild, his idea that he wanted to do. One of those guys that says, you know, I live in Springfield. He does a lot for this bowling center. Bowling center's done a lot for him. It's a great relationship he has here with Enterprise Park Lanes and the Weimer family, and wanted to put on a weekend of scratch bowling with attracting some of the best in the country. And he's got some of his PBA friends to come out, and he's also got a great amount of local talent here. He also draws from St. Louis area, Kansas City, and in north and south of here as well here in the Midwest. So hats off to Kevin Williams on what he has been able to do for the second time running this event. And we all know that the last couple of years have been really tough trying to organize much anything. Nonetheless, a new bowling event in Springfield, Missouri, with no major airport really. There is a Springfield airport, but you know what I mean. When you're booking flights, it's not exactly super easy to get in here. So great job on being able to get so many teams for this event. Again, we're going to have squads for you today. This one here at 9 got started. 7 games. We'll also be back at 1:30 for B squad. Also C squad tonight at 6 p.m. If you're watching and you still want to bowl, you can still sign up for either one of those squads. There are openings on both currently. Also, just to let you know, we'll be cutting to the top 25% of the field tomorrow morning for the cashier's round of all these squads combined. You may re-enter the event as well on the C squad, provided there are openings available and there's enough room for you. Then we'll cut to the top 16 after a cashers round tomorrow, which will be 5 games at 8:30. Then the top 16 will be single elimination Baker bracket match play. Matches will be best of sevens. Best of sevens, not total pinfall. Best of 7 head-to-head Baker. Seeds 1 through 4 are going to get a couple of rounds of a bye. Seeds 5 through 8 will get 1 round bye. And it's $10,000 for first place and a couple of really nice class trophies, as I've been told. Once again, my name is Mike Flanagan. You're watching here this morning here on Inside Bowling. And looks like action is just about to get underway here in game number 4. We'll switch that over right now. And looks like we're going to get things started here with Shea Bittenbender and Tim Barrett crossing with Tom Bohannon and Darren Breedlove. And next door over on 35 and 36, we're going to get an opportunity to take a look at Nate Stubler and Cameron Crow. And Darren Breedlove Jr. and his partner Wilson. So this should be pretty entertaining here. Continuing to tweak the scoreboards here for you, trying to get it set up as best as I can. Looks like this might be a little bit better. Reading scores. There we go. Check in on the chat here. Let's see what I may have missed. Hey, hello to Kenny Seymour this morning. Hello, buddy. Donnie had a question for Kevin about the power torque. I will follow up on that when he comes back. Michael Howman did drill one. I did talk to him yesterday about it. That ball intrigues me, being a bowler that grew up and fell in love with bowling in the 90s. I had an original power torque. This event sponsored by Brunswick, so head out and grab a power torque. Kevin Williams is a Columbia 300 staffer. Let's see. Any website to view the schedule, roster, and scores? What's up, Nate? How you doing? Any ETA on the scores? I know Kevin was working on that. They're working on getting the scores out. We're going to post them on Inside Bowling on Facebook. At Inside Bowling on Facebook, and I'll let you know. I don't even have scores up here in the booth, like a physical copy yet. So, but I'm sure as they get it figured out, we'll have them on a more regular basis. Let's see. Also, there was some talking about multiple feeds there for a moment, presenting multiple feeds and talking about doing things over Wi-Fi. Just so you know, I never do anything Wi-Fi. It's always connected directly into the router. Wi-Fi is just a recipe for disaster, in my opinion. So yeah, we don't do any of that. It would all have to be run through switches and additional Ethernet wires, which is fine. It's not a problem to be able to do that. I just heard from Brian O'Keefe. He bowled 878 in singles here at the Greater Ozark one year. Then he switched pairs for doubles, and he had a front 10 for 289. So he had 1164 for the first four with the last game on a different pair. It's pretty cool at the Greater Ozark. Have I thought about live streaming the Southside doubles that's ran by Tim at Shrewsbury Lanes? If they talk to me about it, I would consider doing it. I live in Utah, so you know there is an expense to come into town, and a lot of times with events, especially lower entry fee events, it doesn't make a lot of sense economically for the event to bring me in. I'm not like super expensive or anything, but I do need to be paid for my time and the equipment. Every event I tend to break something or upgrade something, as well as go through at least one whole roll of gaff tape. And then, you know, flights and rental cars and hotels and all that, it starts to add up. So the events that I do, I guess I'm open to doing more events currently right now with the way my business is, the way that it's kind of set up. I've got more free time. My weekends aren't booked by clients as much as they used to be. But yeah, I would certainly consider it. You know, St. Louis is usually an easy one for me to go to because I have family there. I'm also contemplating a move back to the Midwest. Not for sure, so I don't want anybody to say, "Oh, I heard Mike's moving back to the Midwest," because it's not what I'm saying here. But I am taking it into consideration. Actually, on this trip here that I'm on, I'm actually going to be looking at a couple of properties. So we'll see. And if I'm more centrally located, it would be good for this channel and the viewership of this channel, because the trip from Utah no longer becomes an issue. But I really like it in Utah, so. Probably a little more information than you needed to know there, but just a little peek in at kind of what's going on here. Yeah, David, you know, the question about cost of living in Utah compared to Missouri, cheaper than Utah, you know, everything's been going up, right, when it comes to property, real estate, housing market. But, yeah, Utah has gone up quite a bit because of a lot of folks moving from California. Utah, Nevada, Arizona, New Mexico have really sent the prices of the housing market skyrocketing. And I know it's skyrocketing everywhere in America, but it's a little bit more on those western states that are east of California. A lot of folks are moving from California a state or two east. They're getting a lot more house for the money, but they're still making their California salaries. So that's one thing that is one of the reasons why I'm considering it at this time. But, I've become a big NBA fan. I've always been a big NHL fan, NFL fan, and MLB. A little bit late to the game with the NBA. But I'm a Jazz season ticket holder now, and there's some really cool stuff happening out in Utah. New owners with Ryan Smith, who used to own Qualtrics, and Dwayne Wade, part of the ownership group, and an exciting young player in Donovan Mitchell, along with Mike Conley and Rudy Gobert and the rest of the supporting staff. It's been fun going to Jazz games in Utah. So there's a lot of really great things about living in the state of Utah that I've really warmed up to and really have enjoyed. No humidity. I've got about 38 sprinklers on my property. I love to take care of my lawn. But yeah, moving back to the Midwest would be something that I certainly would not be opposed to, and I'm looking into at the moment. So it does look like we do have some standings here. After 2 games, I have a 2-game update for you. Austin Bulls and Casey Murphy are your tournament leaders. 1,079 is the total for those folks. 545, 534, their opening 2 games. Nick Pate and Brad Miller bowled 535 and then 534, and they're in second. So if they were to bowl that same pace for the rest of the event, I think they would win, because that would mean they would bowl 535, 534, 533, 532, 531, and so on. I think they would win if they would keep that pace. But they would be getting worse every single game, but yet still win the tournament. And I bet that would be a record, the first time that ever happened. But anyway, needless to say, they're in second. I made a little more out of that than I needed to. Shea Bittenbender and Tim Barron are in third. They opened up with 516 and 504. They sit at 1,020. And we got one other team that's at 1,000, and that's Dylan Burns and Bumgarner. They're 1,009. 1,009. They're in fourth. O'Brien and Sapolis, 990. Bohannon and Breedlove, 988. 960 for Jenner and Solvent the third. So that kind of gives you an idea of where we're at. Again, with a fourth of the field with all squads combined, coming back tomorrow morning for Cashier's round. We got 24 teams on the squad here, so we're looking at about 6th position, which currently 988, which is that's a 247 average per person, just with some quick math there. Kevin Williams joins me back in the booth. Welcome back, Kevin.
Hi.
Looks like you guys are getting the score thing worked out now.
Yeah, we figured out the problem. They're going to have to do some score running, but they're taking care of it. They're the best crew in the business. So, yeah, the scores are high right now. They're going to fall off, I'm telling you. They're going to fall off. I just talked to Nick Pate a little bit, and we both agreed that they're going to get tricky. He said he's already left a couple 2-pins that he was unsure of, and then he 4-pins off of it, and he says they're going to get cliffed. So, you always see the high scores the first couple games. Look at Holiday Double is a good example. The first 3 or 4 games, people were like, oh, my God, everyone's averaging 270, and they fall off. So right now you got to get them while they're hot, and the first 4 teams are doing that. I mean, 200 over, 250 over, 280 over.
Hey, my man Corcus Chisholm here in the chat. That'll be our next event after next weekend's Ebonite Fall Classic. We will be at the Nightmare Doubles coming up in October. And if you want to sign up for that, you can check them out on Facebook. Nightmare Doubles Bowling Tournament. I know they're still taking entries. I got to stream it last year. It was a great event. Looking forward to doing it again this year.
I'm looking forward to bowling it. I'm bowling with Casey this year, so I'm excited to bowl that.
And I was doing a little NBA chat there. Carrie says that Memphis loves Mike Conley, and yes, they do.
Oh, you were talking about NBA when I wasn't around?
Just a little bit.
All day.
Just a little bit.
Love me some basketball.
Yeah, I was. Well, and here's a formal invitation for you, Kevin. As a matter of fact, do you ever if you're ever in the Utah area or want to make a trip out, you can stay at my house. We'll go to a Jazz game. I've got season tickets.
Love to do that. I would love to do that, and the Jazz are really good.
Yeah, I was actually talking. I was talking about how moving to Utah. I mean, I didn't have any issue with the NBA. I followed the NBA, but I wasn't like a huge fan of the NBA.
Yep.
But when you go to a few games and you have this young kid by the name of Donovan Mitchell come in,
good.
and and they start, Gordon Hayward was kind of the guy when I moved there, right? And then he declined a max contract to go to Boston. And the whole city, like, it was a big deal.
Right.
Like, they were really upset with this guy.
Right.
And then young Donovan Mitchell comes in as a draft pick and just kind of starts exploding. And then Donovan Mitchell started going to, like, local high school games,
Yeah.
basketball and football games, and just chilling, hanging out.
I love that.
And, you know, he people would see him at the mall and stuff, and, like, he gave beats off his head to kids. And, like, I mean, the guy is so philanthropic. And when he just signed his new big max contract, he donated over $10 million back to his high school.
That is incredible. I love seeing stuff like that.
And that's what's made me kind of fall in love with the NBA is these NBA players in Utah
They
and all
do
the
it
good
so
that they're
right.
doing. And then they just recently got new owners. I was talking about Ryan Smith, who owned Qualtrics, and now Dwayne Wade is a part owner of the Jazz. And Dwayne Wade is one of the nicest people, most giving people of all time in NBA history.
The
with
NBA does
all,
it right.
all of his work, yeah.
They do it right. I think we've talked about that before. I think we've talked about how the NBA works, and they do it right.
Yeah, it's really cool. I do think that that athletes in general in the four major sports are a little overpaid, and that's probably biased on my part because of bowling being so underpaid.
Yeah, I mean,
I kind of feel like there should be like a little bit of spreading of the wealth there.
Right.
But it is all about impressions and how many people tune in and watch and follow. Here we are, we're a bowling broadcast today, and we're talking about the NBA.
Yep.
And it's not very often that you hear
The opposite.
right.
Yes.
Right. Like I was just listening to Dan Patrick on the way in. I listen to Dan Patrick almost every day, one of my idols, and I love his show. He had Rich Eisen on, who has a show right after his from the NFL Network. And Rich Eisen described the opening game the other night between the Bucks and the Dallas Cowboys, which was an excellent game Thursday night to kick off the season.
Yes.
And it was a reference that was made, and I picked up on it, and I thought it was really cool of Rich Eisen to say. He talked about the Buccaneers, that big guy with the long hair, looks like Troy Polamalu, the huge guy. When Leonard Fournette, when they were going to run the ball, they just put him as like a fullback to push the line forward. And Rich Eisen explained that as he went Brooklyn on the line as like a bowling ball to make room for Leonard Fournette to come in. And that meant that he was going to the left side of the line. And I thought that was – and it was just a quick little – he just said it as if it was just
Slowed right
regular
out.
vocabulary. Said, you know, going on the Brooklyn side of the line is what he said, and he was like a bowling ball going through on the Brooklyn side of the line.
That's awesome.
And I thought that was cool. But I pick up on every little thing like that, and it gives me warm feelings about bowling when a guy like Rich Eisen on the Dan Patrick Show makes a bowling reference that I'm sure 95% of the audience did not get.
You're so right. It's not the opposite way. Most of the time, when we are talking bowling, we use analogies of other sports to make them understand bowling.
I know.
I bring up golf so often when I'm talking about bowling, and they don't do that the other way around. I understand it's the aspect of how the games are, but yes, you can't compare bowling to other things where I could talk about basketball all day long. It's wild.
And I'm watching the Olympics this year, you know, and NBC did a terrific job of covering the Olympics, and Mike Tirico did an
Front 11 between the front.
But both of them?
Well, no,
total.
between the two of them.
Austin Bolds and Casey Murphy,
They haven't missed.
front 11 between the two
Okay.
of them. Through
I was
5.5
like-
frames, they are perfect.
Okay.
That's how we'll explain that one.
Okay.
As
I
we're
get
getting
that.
reports in it. But anyway, Mike Tirico did such a great job with the Olympics. And, you know, skateboarding was in for the very first time. And, look, I've always been a fan of skateboarding and Tony Hawk and all those guys, right? And I was very, very happy for the skateboarding community and what it's done
Blown up recently.
for them being in the Olympics. And I'm going to continue to do that as a case study. I'm going to continue to keep my eye on skateboarding. Tony Hawk couldn't believe, you know, it was in the Olympics, and he's on NBC with Mike Tirico, you know, introducing the
Skateboarding
sport.
is huge now.
So, you know, what's that going to do for the monetization of skateboarding, right? I would imagine it's going to do quite a bit.
Yeah.
And that's why there's been this Olympic push for bowling for so long. So I just hope that one day we're going to get there. We've got some new folks with the IBF that are working on that. And it's always nice to get new perspective and new fresh blood. Kevin Dornberger did a great job for a number of years trying to get bowling in the Olympics. And now we've got a new breed, a new group of folks that are trying to do it in different creative ways. And God bless them. I hope it works. You know, and one of the other things that they're talking about, and I've been a little scrutinized for my take on this, but this whole string bowling thing.
Yes, it's starting to come about.
Yeah, so the string bowling, when you look at other countries throughout the world, and this is the marketing spend that's been put on, and I believe there's some facts to it,
Yeah.
is take a country that doesn't have a bowling center in it right now. Okay, we need more countries to bowl to get it in the Olympics, right? That's or it's going to help the cause.
Yes, definitely.
So when you go to put in bowling, like traditional bowling lanes, you got to have a mechanic, you got to be able to source the parts, everything else like that. When you put in string, it's way more affordable and economical for some country to put in bowling lanes, because lanes are already a ton of real estate inside of a building.
Yeah.
So your
They're not
price
cheap.
per square footage, right? So
Yep.
if you're renting a building or you're purchasing a building, if it's 200 a square foot, think about how big a lane is. That's a very expensive real estate when you could be generating more money from restaurant tables there.
Right.
Right? You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's already you're at a disadvantage. And then the footprint of a bowling center with all the lanes is to heat and cool that much more real estate on the lanes costs a lot of money. So
Yep.
there's just a lot to it that goes into it. But I hope that with the advancements and the new gadgets and ways that people are able to create bowling lanes and string and synthetics and all that sort of stuff, that we see more bowling centers built throughout the world, and eventually bowling makes it into the Olympics.
So you are for the string bowling? You're
Well,
not
that's what's funny, right? Is
You're not a traditionalist and you're bummed about it?
People think that I am for string bowling.
You're for it for the industry.
I see it as a very positive for us possibly getting into the Olympics.
On the business side.
There's
of things.
pros and cons to everything,
Right.
Right. So, do I believe that the Professional Bowlers Tour and titles should be awarded on string? Not at this time.
Yep.
Not at this time.
I haven't bowled on string bowling.
I kind of think of it like this, right? T-ball. Is T-ball good to get kids interested into
It's
baseball?
the bridge. It's the bridge.
That's a bridge, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I see string bowling.
As the bridge.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
But when you want to do it at the highest level, and people are like, oh, I did string bowling, it's cool, but then it's like, all right, let's get an Olympic sport. It's like, all right, but it's to the real bowling, not string bowling.
Right.
Okay, let's see. I agree with it. Yeah, it's starting to get talked about more with string bowling, and I haven't bowled on string bowling. I know it changes a little. It's definitely different on pin carry and things like that from regular pins because you have a string attaching all these pins together. Yes, I understand that. But people don't look at it on the business side. You know how much money you save as a bowling center to have string pins, because you don't have to have a head mechanic. Like, just the cost gets cut down so much and things like that with parts and whatever. So it's hard for bowling centers to not convert to that for
Right.
that reason.
Right.
And people, bowling is on the decline. So what can you do to save money and help that? Well, if that's saving money, they're going to go there. And yes, it changes the game a little bit than what we know it as. But at the end of the day, if we want to keep thriving as an industry, as a business, you got to just roll with whatever we're adapting to. And that's where bowling has issues sometimes, where when they made the weight hole rule, how many people were like, screw bowling, I'm quitting because of weight holes? And then it's like, guys, you just got to support what's going on and see where it's going to grow from,
Yep. 278 for Nate Stubler. Cameron Crow can now punch out for 214.
Cam misses 2 single pins, or it would have been a big game for them. Frankie and Chris Sloan, 290, 278, 568. Big game there. They were, I think they were in the middle of the pack. They were in 9th place, so that is definitely going to help the cause of getting them back up where they want to be.
Shea had 246. Tim can now get to 231.
A little less than their last game.
Tom Bohannon had 278.
Partner 227 for Darren Breedlove. So there's still high scores. There's definitely still high scores you see, but if you look overall, scores are starting to come down. I see some 220s, I see a 170, I see a 420, a 430. They're gonna fall off, just slowly but surely. They're gonna do it, just a little bit. But in the meantime, guys are still throwing 10-baggers everywhere. I wonder if Casey and Austin still have them all as they move down to more the middle of the center. We're all on the high end right here, and the high end's where all the leagues are in play. That's where a lot of the scores come from, on the high end. You get a little tighter when you go down there to the low end, so scores will probably come from more down the high end where there's a little more hook. for the most part. But we don't really have, you go to some centers that are 40 lanes and they're big like this, and people will talk about the bays, the low-end bay, the middle of the lane bay, the high-end bay. And you talk about, like, man, the low end's so much worse. Our center isn't really like that. We don't really have too many pairs that are too bad or that just stick out, that are like, oh, my God, don't hit 39 and 40. That pair sucks. Usually end pairs aren't great. Last night, the end pair was the best pair in the house. 39 and 40 started off. They started off 270, 300, 300, 240 on that pair for the 4 guys who were bowling on it. So there's not really too many pairs that stick out. The low end is a little tighter, but they're not really any harder. They just don't hook as much. So you're going to see balance of scores throughout wherever anyone's bowling. They're not really a bad pair. Now, I say that, depending on who starts on what pair, you can create a bad pair. But just by the lane graph, the topography, we don't have too many bad pairs around here, which creates high scores.
Center,
good bowling, Sloan.
Center built in 1991, so just 30 years old.
Yep.
We got Nick Pate and Brad Miller on the right side of your screen, bowling with DeVoe and Petrin. Is that Belbiv DeVoe?
I don't think so.
No. And then next door we're going to have Tony Resnick and Cody Aldrich, Scott Greiner, and his partner Hearns.
Scott Greiner, that's my go-to senior partner. I love OGSG is what I call him. One of my favorite people I've met in the bowling industry. I always have a good time with him. We always go out and have some drinks and laughs when we're together. We bowl really well together. Just another one of those guys that I'm so glad I met in the bowling industry.
He is great. I didn't know him very well up until about 2 years ago, but I've gotten to know him a little bit. He's managing a center in Lake Ozark, from what I understand.
Oh, yes. He just partnered up with the people that own it, and he said business is booming right now, and you love to hear that. You love to hear that. So he's dealing with that. He's not bowling as much. He usually bowls on the senior PBA tour, but he stepped away from that because he's just got a lot going on with the center, and that's a good problem to have. It's a good problem to have, and I love to hear that. We need more of that.
Yep.
We need more of that. I'm going to step away real quick, Mike, but I'm just going to keep popping in if you're okay with that.
Yeah, that's great.
So you're not alone.
All right. All right, so let's try to figure out a little bit of timing here. We're at 11:08. We're in game number 5. So around 12:30-ish, 12:15 to 12:30-ish, they will be complete. The next squad is supposed to start at 1:30. They do have to oil the bowling center. So I do wonder about that, if we will start on time. It will be probably closer to 1:45 would be my guesstimation, but we will see. Glad you're with us here, watching here on Inside Bowling. Don't forget, you can head over to InsideBowling.com, and you can pick up some merch, help support our channel. Coupon code YouTube right there on the screen for you will save you 15% over at Inside Bowling. Free shipping on all orders over $75. We've seen a lot of people pick up a lot of bowling T-shirts and hoodies from us over the years. I actually was checking into the hotel last night and saw somebody wearing one of our shirts. Part of the idea behind that was I like to personally wear T-shirts, and I think that Kohl's and concerts and a lot of people like to wear T-shirts, and I just didn't think there was enough bowling T-shirts out there for people to be able to pick up and purchase. Got a couple licensing deals in place with some brands, and you can pick up some pretty cool shirts over there. We've got over 400 designs now over on Inside Bowling, so check it out. Also makes a great Christmas gift. Keep that in mind as well. Also, a big shout out to our sponsors of this event, Greater Ozarks Open Bowling Tournament. Been crazy. Check them out on Facebook. Really cool what they're doing with these Amazon and Best Buy pallets that they're purchasing and then selling everything on the cheap to everybody. And people are really loving that store. Wise Guys Screen Printing, wiseguyscreenprinting.com. And check out Greater Ozarks Pro Shops here as well. Great sponsor if you're in the area. And Brunswick, brands of Brunswick. When you're considering your next bowling ball purchase, make sure you consider Brunswick bowling ball, bag, shoes. They do it all. This is the second annual Springfield Doubles Shootout. Francois Lavoie and A.J. Chapman won this event in 2019. Did not hold an event in 2020 due to COVID. They're bowling on a 44-foot house shot, but it's not the house shot of the bowling center here. It's another type of house shot that's got high volume. It's intended to hold up for 7 games. Looking about 60 teams. Could get a few more. Still taking entries. We'll have a C squad later today at 6 p.m. if you want to make the drive out. Also, we'll be back again, as I said, at 1:30. Cashers round will be tomorrow morning at 8:30. 5 games, pins carrying over. And then how we determine a champion is top 16 single elimination Baker bracket match play. Got standings up after game number 3 here that I will tell you. Shea Bittenbender and Tim Barrett, your leaders. They have bowled 1588. Shea Bittenbender actually bowled 816 to start his day. Games of 238, 279, and 299. Tim Barrett, 278, 225, and 269. So 1588, your leaders right now. Bittenbender and Barrett through 3 games. Through 3 games, we'll have 4 for you here in just a moment is what I was trying to say. Nick Pate and Brad Miller in second. 777 to start the day for Nick, 786 for Brad. So 1563, they're 25 pins behind Bittenbender and Barron. At 1556, just 7 pins behind Pate and Miller is Burns and Bumgarner. Trevor Bumgarner started with 8:15 to start his day. That's 1 pin less than Shea Bittenbender. They are at 1556. Austin Bolds opens up with 8:33 to start today. 279, 299, 255. 1554 for he and Casey Murphy. Just 2 pins back of Burns and Bumgarner. Quite a bit of a jump now down to 5th. Jenner and Solvent. Ross Jenner, Terry Solvent the 3rd. 692 to start the day for Ross, and Terry started with 728. They're at 1420. So the gap between 4th and 5th is 124 pins. So we have 4 teams that have bowled 1,500 or better through 3 games, and then the drop off down here to 5th at 1420. Just 3 pins behind them is the team of Stubler and Crow, and that was after they bowled 504 the last game. Stubler and Crow opened up with 408, pretty low scoring there, 217 and 191 for those guys, but then they bowled 505 and 504 back to back. Going down a little bit, I just want to check in on Sloan and Lavoie. Game number 1, Francois Lavoie bowled 300. His partner Chris Sloan bowled 197. So a couple of PBA touring guys there. 497 to start their day. Then 213 for Frankie, 226 for Chris Sloan. That's 439 combined. And then Francois bowled 243, game number 3. Sloan 220. So Sloan only starts with 643 here on the house shot. 756 for Frankie. So just an idea to kind of keep an eye on those guys. Also looking around, I want to see if there's any other notable scores here worth calling out. Sapolis started with 762. His partner Aaron O'Brien started with 640. Chad Nelson only 631 to start today. His partner Brady Stearns 693. Samowski had 695 to start. Jen Helferstay 620. Sean Carson had 704. Vince Peters only 600. So yeah, that gives you a little bit of an idea. Brian Halen had 670. Charlie Reed 616. McKendree University standouts there. Charlie Reed struggling game number 3, bowled 159. So you can certainly get in the wrong part of the lane with the wrong ball and can certainly bowl lower scores. Ryan Barnes, interesting, 238, 175, 184. Joe Grondin, 246, 235, 176. Going in the wrong direction there with a 360 game number 3. So there's your standings. We will start getting some of these updated on Inside Bowling on Facebook for you. Please bear with us. Please be patient as we work out the kinks here. We got a long day of bowling, 21 total games for you here from Springfield. Once again, my name is Mike Flanagan from Inside Bowling. Hopefully you're enjoying our coverage here as we're in game number 5. One of the things during qualifying that I enjoy to do is to just kind of talk about what's happening in the center, give you some updates on what's happening around, interview some guests, talk to some folks, talk about the history of the area, the people, and things like that. So it's more of a bowling podcast as we get through qualifying. But as we do get further along in the tournament, if you've joined us before, we do get pretty serious here. Some things at stake: $10,000. $10,000, a big reason to get serious tomorrow, goes to the winning team. $10,000. A lot of added money thanks to our great sponsors here as well, and we will do that. But if there's anything you'd like for me to talk about or consider talking about, we'd be more than happy to cover that for you throughout the event. That's why we do have our interactive chat here on YouTube. Also, if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, we'd love to have you subscribe. You can subscribe right there on the screen. Just hit subscribe. You can also hit the notification button, and it'll let you know every time we go live or drop a new video. We put a lot of instructional content out there for you. And also, we've activated our Super Chat as well. We've got Super Chat, so if there's something you'd like to say or do, you just hit the little monetary button down there below, and you can show the support for Inside Bowling right down there. So pretty cool, as YouTube has given us some new bells and whistles. I want to welcome in all 316 viewers here today, and I want to thank you for liking this stream. We've got 57 likes down below, and I'll try to get caught up here on the chat. John Foster asked a good question. He was going to ask Kevin. Kevin has left the booth now, but I'll answer it. Do we think urethane's going to come into play as the lanes start to kind of burn up? And I would say that may not be a bad play. I could see that. 39 and 40's best pair in the house. Chan Man says. Shane says, great BBD reference. I don't know what I was referring to. You have to refresh me on that one. I forget what I'm even talking about. John, I think they have 2 Oilers, so they might, yep. It's Brad. Sorry, I always get excited when I see Brad. Yeah, Kristen, I saw the vlog that Darren did where you met Brad. Okay. Yeah, Shane, BBD reference. Don't remember what that one was. I don't remember what I was talking about. Refresh me. It's going to drive me crazy now. Oh, Belle Biv DeVoe. Thank you. Thank you very much, Jay, for Belle Biv DeVoe. That was a long time ago. Sorry, I haven't looked at the chat in a minute. I try to. Another little behind-the-scenes thing for you is... So I have this second monitor that's USB powered, and it only works sometimes. It just doesn't want to work well with a Mac, and I don't know why. I need to get a new one. And then I asked the bowling center, hey, could you guys hook me up with a monitor? And they brought me one down, but it connects via these old pins. That's the old pin system, and I need an HDMI, and I don't have a converter with me. So I'm working on getting another monitor, too, here. Because I drove in from Utah, and my second monitor that I use for streaming is in St. Louis. So that's stream life struggles right there, is what I just explained. And I know the piece, prior planning prevents piss poor performance. I know. You don't have to remind me. So here's Nick Pate. Bowled like 1080 last night for 4 games. He can still bowl 258 here. Brad can bowl 248. Once again, they're in second. They've bowled games of 535, 534, and 494. I think Brad should be allowed to wear a hat on tour. I've always been a fan of that, actually. Now, I also mentioned earlier how I think bowling should be in the Olympics, and I'm sure many people would make the argument, well, but Mike, if you want bowling to be considered an Olympic sport, why would a hat be okay? And hey, nice shot, Brad. That 10-pin standing up in the gutter. I don't know if I've ever seen that before. The 10-pin's just standing up in the gutter. It fell weirdly. That is a strike. Interesting. I might have to do something with that later. Because the machine's confused. It thinks there's a 10-pin. There's Tony Resnick over there on lane 27. Once again, he had a huge state tournament series, state record, 9 games. But, you make the case about a hat, right? Well, there's a lot of Olympic sports where they wear hats. And, yeah, Barron, you're right. Brad wearing a hat keeps the glare out of everyone else's eyes. They're still having difficulty with this lane here. I think I'm going to bounce out of here for just a minute. I'm going to go over here to 35 to 38. Take a look at Chad Nelson. Just get an idea of what the scoring looks like. You got Cam Crow and Nate Stubler there. Stubler can still bowl 258. Cam Crow can bowl 279. Yeah, Brendan Pick actually correcting me. Tony Resnick's 9-game total was a national record, not just a state record. One of the knocks that bowling gets about being an Olympic sport also is the fact that you can control the environment in which the game is being played on, right? My argument to that would be, look at skateboarding in the Olympics now, the half pipe or the freestyle, I believe is what it was. The free skate, I think is what they called it. You create the way the pools are and the rails and all that kind of stuff for the environment. So I don't think you can. I think having skateboarding in the Olympics now actually makes a better case for bowling because they do control what the course looks like, right? And if you look at like skiing, they also make the course for that. Cross country skiing, things like that. You can do different elevations and different ups and downs through all of that for cross country skiing. Well, it's the same for bowling. So I think that argument is mute. Michael Shirley. Mike runs events and does a good job helping run events as well. He was involved with the Boom Doubles. I do remember that when I streamed that event. So shout out to Mike for the work that he does in bowling as well. So we got an orange screen over here. I'm gonna bounce back over and check in on Pate and Miller as they finish up their game. Nick Pate comes in light, 248. He's having an issue kind of the ball coming in light as he moves in on the lane. So it looks like he finishes out with, is that 245? No, 255. Yeah, Thank you. Here's Brad now. Brad's running it out. It's fun to strike. Still got 290 left here for CJ Petrin. Sorry, just got the scores for game number 4 were just handed to me. Brad can still get to 234 now with a spare here. See if we can finish it out with 290 here for CJ. Boom, 290. Jake DeVoe with 201, not to be confused with Bell Biv. All right, let's bounce out of here. Head back over to lanes 35 through 38 that we have here for you as well.
Standings after game 4 are now posted.
They just made an announcement here in the building. The standings after game number 4 are now posted, which means I also have them here in the booth. So your leaders now are Austin Bolts and Casey Murphy. They bowled 525 the last game. They are now at 2079. Austin Bolts opened up with 1079 to start his day. Casey Murphy 1,000 even. So 1,000 for 4 games, a 250 average. 1,079 is almost a 270 average, just to put it in perspective. Shea Bittenbender and Tim Barrett bowled 477 the last game and went to second now. They are at 2065. So they are 14 pins back in second. Dylan Burns and Trevor Bumgarner now 2056. Trevor Bumgarner opened up with 1073. Nick Pate, Brad Miller, 1981. 75 pins back of third they are now. Nick Pate opened up with 1023. Brad had 172 game number 4. They only bowled 418, so 1981 is now their total. Frankie and Sloan, after that big 568 in game number 4, are now at 1967, so they've climbed up to 5th. Tom Bohannon and Darren Breedlove at 1911 are currently in 6th. And if you take 25% of the field for the Cashers round, and it is all squads combined, that would be the number through one squad. Would be 1911. Stubler and Crow just behind at 1909. Grime and Morris at 1886. At 1880 is Chase Venezuela and Michael Shirley, who we're watching right now. They're at 1880. At 1879 is Josh Imhoff and Sambo Butler at 1879. 1862 is Sapolis and O'Brien. 1815, Ross Jenner, Terry Solvent III. Everybody else is chasing those numbers. Again, this morning we have 22 teams on the squad. 22. Take that back. 24 teams on the squad. 24 teams on this squad. Brad Miller has finished bowling for now, so he decided to pull up a headset, which is one of our favorite things about Inside Bowling. And many of you don't know, Brad Miller is one of the first voices on Inside Bowling.
Me and Setwinski.
With a little podcasting kit.
Isn't it crazy to think about those days?
It certainly is.
You had $1 and a dream, Mike.
Yeah, something like that.
Now you're back in Missouri.
Yeah.
Finding some places to live down here in the Ozark area.
Well.
We're gonna throw some awesome parties.
We're
gonna have a dock outside your house.
All we're doing is looking. All we're doing is looking.
Kim gave me the hard no, by the way.
What's that?
Kim gave me the hard no.
Yeah, she doesn't want to do it.
It was a hard one.
But she hasn't been there before.
I know.
She doesn't even know.
You got to have her meet the right people.
She also told me when we first were dating, I said, hey, I want to take you to P.F. Chang's. Let's go to P.F. Chang's. She goes, I hate Chinese food. I'm like, well, it's American Chinese. Get out of here. So it was like 2 months later was her birthday, and her family's like, where do you want to go for your birthday? She goes, I want to go to P.F. Chang's. So I think Ozarks, P.F. Chang's.
Just have her watch the show.
I don't need. Yeah, well, we've watched that. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna be Marty Byrd. Be laundering, buddy. You just want me to move there so you have a place to go, and
heck yeah, man.
I know. You're. I saw this vlog with you and a young lady recently on Darren's channel. Yeah,
Kristen.
Yeah, and she's in the chat today.
Is she?
Yeah.
Yeah, we finally met.
Yeah. Do you want to say anything to her today?
I mean, hi, Kristen. How are you? From Delaware, I believe, is where she lives.
If the PBA allowed hats to be worn, would you wear one all the time?
No.
You wouldn't?
Actually, I don't know. Dude, I forget about it.
No, we love it. Like,
do you?
Yeah, I think it's.
Well, like, look at it's just my head's so shiny.
Dude, here's the thing.
Well, you're getting there too.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, by the way.
We gotta stick together.
Thank you. No, I was thinking what would be great for you is I think like a trucking company could sponsor you.
Especially with these, you see how like the see-through back part, it totally looks like a trucker.
I'm telling you right now, I could also see like John Deere picking you up, and you're always wearing green and yellow. You know what I mean?
All right.
I'm telling you.
All right.
I think there's something to this.
But the trucker hats, they don't like put them all the way down, right? They kind of like rise up a little bit and they kind of sit high on the head.
I haven't analyzed it to that depth yet, but I do think that you could pick up like, I think Beacons used to be like a moving company, Yellow Truck Line. I think UPS, dude. You could what could Brown do for you? What could Brad do for you?
Dude, I know the two golfers on UPS are Lee Westwood and Louis Oosthuizen, and both of them like are small guys,
Yeah, man. You guys could do like challenge matches. You go out and play golf with those guys. They bowl with you, dude. I'm telling you, I think that's the way to go.
That's the way to go. I'm gonna DM Lee Westwood, see what he's thinking.
I think there's real possibilities here.
Maybe he's a bowler.
I think, yeah.
You never know.
Never know. Hey, your YouTube channel is at 98,300. 98,300. I'm sure if you're watching this channel that you've already subscribed to Brad and Kyle. But if for some crazy reason you just got out of jail and this is the first thing you're doing, and you haven't had a chance to subscribe to Brad and Kyle in the last couple of years, go over to Brad and Kyle's YouTube channel and subscribe. We're trying to get them to 100K.
Yep. And we're gonna do a big giveaway for 100K.
Are you really?
So yeah, we're getting like 12 to 1,300 subscribers a month, so we should hit it around November time, and then we're gonna try and give away as much stuff as possible.
That's cool. That's cool, and I'm anxious to see what happens once you get to 100K and kind of where it goes. Because you guys are kind of the benchmark now. Of course, there's the Professional Bowlers Tour that sits at almost 200,000 subs. USBC is sub you guys. We're averaging about 1,200 a month right now currently. Although we're starting to pick up some steam again now, putting out 2 videos a week, plus these live streams back-to-back weekends. But need to get these guys to 100,000. That's such a huge deal.
Dude, I'm looking forward to – I know. I'm better at this. Next year, all these guys are vlogging. Darren's vlogging, Packy's vlogging, we're vlogging.
Yeah.
Imagine, like,
I know.
A good stretch of tour and all that media going on the end.
I know.
I got a ball. See you guys.
See ya. Thanks, Brad. That was very nice of Brad to come by, visit with us. That is one of my favorite things about Inside Bowling ever since I started this thing, is I've always had an open chair, open booth for people to come by, and I've prided myself in just having people come by. And for whatever reason it happens. When I go and work for the other events, now granted it's professional bowling events and people are focused really on the task at hand. This is a little more weekend, loosey-goosey type feel. But when I go out there, I have to beg people to come get into the booth as if it's okay or something. But here, they just sit down and grab a headset, and I've always really appreciated that with the bowlers. So let's see where we want to go here. This is a first. I've got, for the first time ever on Inside Bowling broadcasts, Ryan Barnes. Ryan picked up the game, from what I understand, a little bit later than most two-hander. Of course, son of Chris and Linda Barnes. Goes to Wichita State now, and it's going to be interesting to see how his game evolves as he bowls collegiately, and if he goes on to follow in his father's footsteps and bowl on tour. Pretty cool story to watch and follow. He has developed his game at a very rapid rate. I realize he's got access to great coaches, but he must have a lot of physical talent if he is able to do what he's able to do so quickly. He actually reminds me of the guy who was sitting next to me earlier, and Kevin Williams. Guys that pick up the game, in their teens and can become and develop a skill very quickly. I know a lot of practice goes into that as well. So not having a great tournament here, though, unfortunately. Through 4 games, Ryan Barnes, 238, 175, 184, 221. His partner, Joe Grondin, who's no stranger to inside bowling, bowled 246, 235, 176, 279. But they did just come off 221 and 279, a 500 game in game number 4. I don't know what they had in game 5 yet, as we are now in game number 6. But if Chris and Linda are watching, glad you guys are here watching. Looking forward to covering Ryan here. Wouldn't be surprised if they re-enter also on the C squad later today. So good luck to them. Also bowling with them, we have, I'm looking for that sheet right now. Justin Wynn and Joe Baker bowling with them. And right next door again, Francois Lavoie and Christopher Sloan. And Josh Imhoff and Sambo Butler. So a triple for Ryan Barnes.
You looked lonely.
Oh, I'm good. I'm good.
You're good by yourself?
Brad joined us for a minute
I saw that.
in between games.
You guys have a good little convo?
We did. We're trying.
He's such a character.
We're trying to get him signed with UPS and see if he can't wear a hat on tour.
You guys are two very out there characters, so I'm sure you guys' conversations are great. So scores are still high after 4. Just a little bit. Austin Bolts is crushing them. 70, 90, 50, 50. Shoosh.
Again, they're bowling on a house condition, 44 feet in length. I am trying to catch up on the chat. Kristen made her day. Brad was in here, gave her a shout out. Let's see. Talking about the ASBT in here. That's another great.
I was just about to plug that in. The ASBT. Arkansas Scratch Bowlers Tour. I've been bowling that for years now. That's the first thing I really started getting into, and I started trying to bowl for some money. Greg recently had passed away, one of the nicest humans in the bowling industry ever. I know you have talked with him and worked with him before. So his daughter and Chase, fiance now, they're keeping that legacy going, and they have their season opener for this new year next weekend in Little Rock. It's a doubles event on Saturday. It's a 50 over under, and then on Sunday it's a open doubles. They have a lot of entries. Great event, one-day event, low cost. So if you're around the Arkansas area, you need to come bowling. But man, yeah, long live Greg O'Neill. Such an amazing family. Hate to see that they passed away. It really actually hit me a little harder than I thought it would. So I'm glad to see that Chase and Shire still keeping that thing going.
Yeah, Greg's actually commentated with me on this channel. He's actually worn these exact headsets that we're wearing, which we also had a comment in here about what headsets are you using. They sound amazing. It's kind of funny you talk about that. I brought Kim with me on this trip, and when we pulled the headsets out, she's like, "Man, these things are in terrible condition. You need to buy some new headsets." But these are Audio Technicas, and I've had them for 9 years, and they do work amazingly well. And if you're ever looking for these things, they run $199 a piece typically. But if you check out Guitar Center, you can call them on the phone, and they'll typically give you a coupon for 15 to 20% off.
Oh, really?
Almost all the time. Yeah, they'll work with you, and then they run sales throughout the year. So I am thinking about picking up a couple new headsets. Like I said, I like to reinvest in these things. They are starting to get a little rough on the cups.
On the ears,
I don't know if I can get them refurbed or anything like that. But yeah, I've been very impressed with these. As a matter of fact, when I go and work with USB-C for Bowl TV, they use Sennheisers, and I always bring mine with me. And these are more powerful than the others, to the point that Jason Thomas actually went out and purchased one of these for when I'm there, somebody else can wear that and be at the same sound level. So yeah, Audio Technica, there's your plug.
Nice. So I've talked about it a couple times now that I think scores are going to fall off the last couple games, and I'm starting to see that. You've got Brad just washed out right there. His ball never read down lane. I'm seeing some weird light mixer 4 pins, and again, people are still going to shoot their 250s, 260s, but those 2-0s, 2-teens, those are dropping your scores because of what the pace is at. So I'm starting to see that. Miss Messenger 10s. But overall, after 4, scores are still high as we are in game 6 of 7 right now. So we'll get those standings out shortly. But Austin Bolts, Casey Murphy leading, no surprise at all. Austin crushing him. Makes Casey look like he's not bowling good because Austin's beating Casey by 79 after 4.
Yeah, and Casey's averaging
But Casey's
250 on the
averaging
nose.
250. Austin is bowling incredible. 79, 99, 55, 46. That's good bowling. Top 3 right now is at 2,000. 2050.
Yeah, and the fourth base team, Nick and Brad only bowled 14
For
the
5.
fourth game.
Oh, yeah.
418,
you're right.
so they were on pace to be doing the same thing.
That's the thing. When scoring pace is this high, having that 410, 420, 40, it drops you quick because someone can put up 550. That's 150, 120 pins. It's a lot. But also you can gain it back if you hit a pair like that. What pair are we streaming now? These last 2 over here?
Yep, right over here. Yep. So Sloan got off to a slow start. 190, 220, 220, then 278, and now he's got the front 4.
And I think he was bowling pretty good the game before that, too, as well. I saw that going to like the 8th, he had 280 left, so I don't know if he punched out or what, but I saw he was striking a little bit. Man, the funny thing about bowling is one of the most unimportant things, least important things of bowling is how you throw it, and I mean by like the eye, like how pretty it looks. It doesn't matter like how you look as long as it's efficient. But you can watch some of these younger kids and they throw it so damn good. But that doesn't necessarily mean anything. Just because you throw it good don't mean you're going to strike. But you can watch someone and be like, oh, this guy's the best bowler there ever was, without seeing their score. And a lot of these younger guys just know how to throw a bowling ball now. Some people I don't know, but I watch them like, whoa, that kid throws it really good. Trip 4-9, gets the 9 out late. Sloan with the front 4, Frankie double, 9 spare strike. as Josh Imhoff just wraps a 7. That's exactly what I'm talking about right now. A lot of wrap 10s, wrap 7s, missed messengers. They get hard to knock over the last couple. As young Noodle, we call him Noodle, who just struck on 35. His name's Justin, but it sounds weird when I say his name. Noodle with the strike as he just shoots finger guns at me. The damn disrespect. On a unibagger, he shoots finger guns at me. Noodle is a very enthusiastic person. Kid has more energy than anyone I've ever seen in my life at 22 years old.
Do you think later in the block urethane could be in play?
I think they're too cliffed. I think there's way too much oil in the middle part of the lane that a urethane ball will never hook down lane. You got to get it to still try to change direction. I don't think a urethane ball will do that because there's so much. There's still 44 feet. Like, you see that these people are hooking it because the center has a lot of free friction, but there is still 44 feet of length of oil, and that does come into play eventually. Like, you see these light mixers, you just pay attention to these guys' balls as they're getting to those rangefinders down lane. They're starting to go a little straighter down lane because they're getting so tight. If you throw a urethane ball, it's going to try to pick up too quick and go too straight, as you see Sambo just pocket 710. Just balls starting to go too straight off the breakpoint down lane. Ryan Barnes, I think some people know his dad. His dad's name is Chris Barnes. As Ryan gives me a little smirk on a double. Ryan is naturally just a good bowler. He actually played a lot of basketball in high school, so he didn't take bowling very serious. If he would have taken bowling a little more serious at 14 years old, there's no telling how good he could be. But he already is still good now, and he just decided to pick it up about a year ago, it seems like.
Yeah, I actually talked about that, how this is the first time that Ryan's ever been on an Inside Bowling live stream.
Really?
Yeah, it's his
Throws it good.
first appearance, yeah.
He just started taking bowling seriously like a year ago. And he's coming out here and he's starting to throw some strikes around. I know he's done some money winning out there in Texas with some of the stuff they got going on.
Yep.
You know, obviously it definitely helps to have a Chris Barnes as your father to help give you a little bit of guidance there, because Chris is Chris Barnes.
Well, and I'm sure assistance from Mark Baker as well.
All of it. He has resources, but also at the end of the day, you got to throw the ball. You can know all you need to know, but that doesn't mean anything. And,
exactly.
He's starting to learn how to apply it pretty quickly. I know that his mother, Linda, super proud of him. I see all the time on Facebook she's posting videos of him bowling regionals, and you know, it's nice to have the support system to know that, hey, even if you aren't great immediately, we got you. We'll be here. We'll be here to take care of you and make sure you're getting in the right direction. So it's nice to see Ryan come out here and bowl. I'm real curious to see where his career's going to go. If he keeps at it.
Yeah, I agree. You know, is he gonna, you know, after Wichita, is he gonna, you know, try the tour and follow in his father's footsteps? Only time will tell. I've been trying out some new features here. I put a poll up here. Will Bolds and Murphy lead the squad? 56% say yes.
Yeah.
44% say no.
It's no shock. If people know, Casey Murphy bowls very good in this center. Like I said, he bowls here every day. He practices every day. We bowl every day together. We've bowled on every pair numerous times. We've bowled on all the conditions you want to bowl on here to practice on. And also, besides all that, Casey is one of the best amateur bowlers in the nation. Some people might not know the name Casey Murphy because he doesn't travel like he used to. You know, he's got a family of 3 kids. Very happy wife at home, so he doesn't travel like he used to, some of the bigger stuff. But Casey Murphy knows how to bowl. If you went out on tour, you figure out how to win. I truly believe that, and I'm unbiased to being his partner in crime. He's just a smart guy, and he knows how to do this game.
I kind of put him and Shea Bittenbender in the same category.
100%.
Very
Him and Adam
similar.
Barta, those are the 3 I always bring up of guys that could do it if they wanted to, but they have other lives, you know?
Hey, did you see it? Did you ever see the thumbnail we put together for this one?
I did.
Yeah,
I did.
You like that?
I do like it.
We were
I
trying-
don't have blonde hair in that one, though.
Looking for a better model. If you know of one, we could get better.
You won't find one.
No, okay. all right.
I'll send you a photo of me with blonde hair. That's how it gets better.
Of course, everyone, I'm talking about this right here.
I remember that photo shoot. At the time, I used to look down when I bowled. I didn't look up, and I hated when people would take photos of me in front of the line like that because I always was just looking at the ground. And so I remember taking a couple photos, trying to look up. I threw it in the gutter twice because I was like, I can't do this. The tongue's always out. I look awful from that view, but whatever. It's cool. It's bowling. So, 33-4, we have Nick Pate, Brad Miller. We're taking 1 and 4. So, to get a kind of a guess of what we're looking at here, probably top 5 or 6 off this squad. Again, that doesn't necessarily mean that the 6th place will make it out, because you don't know how the other squads are going to go. But you can kind of get a guess. If I'm around 5th, I should be close to the cut. Nick Pate and Brad Miller are close to the cut, and they're struggling a little bit right now. Brad's looking to try to get a double here in the 9th for 228 if he can punch out. Didn't like it, flat 10. 2-0. Nick can strike out for 230, so 430, it's going to hurt a little bit, especially when they're on the bubble.
How many of these teams do you think will re-enter?
I hope everyone that doesn't think they're making it.
Really? Yeah.
I think I'll probably get about 15, 20 re-entries, I would say. There's a lot of good teams here that, they're not going to drive all this way, spend all this money, stay in a hotel for a couple nights to give one shot at it when they know they can give 2 or 3, or 1 or 2 shots at it. So
Yeah, you won't let anybody re-enter on B, right?
yeah, we are. If
You
they
will?
want to. Yeah.
You will?
Brad and Nick put a spot on B if they wanted to bowl it.
Okay.
So they can bowl B if they want to bowl B squad.
So B is also a re-entry squad if they like.
Yep, as long as we have spots open and people want to give it a go, I can't turn it down, since I opened it up to re-entries. You can bowl all 3 squads if you want. That's up to you if you want to spend the money.
You could bowl 3 times.
Yeah.
21 games.
Yep. Obviously the goal was we wanted to sell out. We don't want
Right.
to have re-entries. September is not the month we wanted to run this event, but it's the month we had to work with. So there's a lot going on, and we're a little low on entries, lower than we thought we'd be, but that's okay. We got 60 teams.
I like re-entry events. The IB Open was always a re-entry
Yep.
event.
Yep.
For a few reasons. Number one, I think that a lot of times people will go bowl an event and then say, man, if I would have only done this.
Yep.
Right?
What if?
So then you have that what if. And then if that doesn't work,
At least you know.
then you're like, okay, well, I got to go home and figure some stuff out.
I agree 100%.
You know what I mean? Like, it creates that learning tool. And I always wanted the IB Open to be, a stepping stone to the tour,
Yeah.
right? And
I think it was exactly that.
I mean, if you look at the IB Open, Jake Peters won that event
Yep.
the first year. He went on to win on tour 6 months later, or 3 months later.
Yeah.
Kyle Troop won the IB Open and then won
He did.
just a month later.
Yeah,
in
Fire
Oklahoma.
Lake.
Yep. Fire Lake in Oklahoma.
Yep, you're right.
So I've always kind of prided that event on that.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Are those coincidences? Probably not. I would say it was a great event where you got all the amateurs and pros. Good. You got a little bit of everybody. You had so many entries. That was my favorite event. That was the first big event that I started bowling good, and I kind of felt the atmosphere of like what elite bowlers do. And
Right.
I never had a crazy year. I made match play twice. Thanks. I was after 5, Mike.
Beautiful.
Perfect. After 5. What are we looking at here?
I'm going to let you read those off.
All right, I'll read them off. So, we did a poll, Mike says, if Austin Bolts and Casey Murphy are going to lead this event. Well, after 5, they are still leading. They're leading by 50. They are at 25-86 over Shea Bittenbender and Tim Brandt. They are at 25-39. In third, we have Dylan Burns and Trevor Bumgarner. They're at 24-77. So, Tim and Shea and Austin and Casey are trying to get away from the rest of the field as they have a 70 and 100 pin lead on third place. In fourth, we have Nick Pate and Brad Miller at 24-70. And like I said, they are struggling a little bit right now. They are trying to shoot 14, so that is going to hurt them, and they are on the bubble. In fifth, we have Frankie Love and Chris Sloan. They're at 24-58. Then we drop down 50 pins there to Tom Bohannon and Darren Breedlove. And then we drop about another 20 pins there to Chase Venezuela and Michael Shirley. So a lot of teams are pretty bundled up. If you look down all the way to, what is this, 2, 4, 6, 8, 12th place is at 2,300. And you look up to 6th place is 2,400. So 100 pins separating them. you can gain that back real quick if someone hits a bad pair and you shoot 450 or 550. I mean, so again, we're taking 1 and 4, so about 5th, 6th place is kind of get a gauge of where you want to be. As Brad just misses a 10 pin for 180, they shoot 400 on the nose, and they're in 4th right now, so not going to help their score. So what's Frankie and Sloan shooting, because they are just below them?
Frankie can bowl 259. Sloan 266.
Oh, 260. I'm looking at the wrong people. Okay, so Sloan and Frankie are going to jump Nick and Brad unless they go gutter, which isn't going to happen.
No.
So again, a lot of teams around the bubble here, around that 5th, 6th place area. That's probably what most people are looking at, around 5th or 6th place.
And you're bowling the next squad, right?
I am bowling the next squad. Yeah, you see scores starting to come down. I see, out of the first page that we got here, we got, well, I say that 450 and 420. We have a 540 by Ryan Barnes, and then they made a big jump. So they weren't bowling. They've gone 500, 546 the last two.
Yeah.
Barnes and Joe. I don't think they shot a lot that last game, though. These last 2 games. Scores are going down. If you can manage the pairs where you kind of struggle on carry, if you can get out with, 460, 470, that'll go a long ways.
How you doing? This is my brother Brandon.
How you doing? Nice to meet you.
Want to step in here for me? Chat? Come on. I talked up enough, but you'll know more than me. I talked up a little bit earlier.
Okay. See how this works. Anything I need to know special?
Nope. Finishing up game number 6 here. And as soon as this game's over, I'm going to be joined by one of the sponsors of the event from Ben Crazy. I'm looking forward to talking a little shop here in regards to this. But we'll finish up with this game and then bring Brandon in. All right, so Sloan's got it all figured out. Frankie posts 246. Sloan can get to 266. Brad and Nick are coming in on 35 and 36 as they're starting game number 7. Sloan doubles into 10th. All right, that's going to do it for game number 6. We're officially heading into game number 7. All right, here we are. I'm here with Brandon. Your last name Taylor as well?
That's right.
Brandon Taylor from Ben Crazy. Nice to meet you, Mike Flanagan.
Pleasure to meet you.
So you sponsored this event here, and from what I understand, you've got yourself a cool, new kind of innovative business that you guys have created. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, it's a what we call a bin store, and we do liquidation sales. And these liquidations comes from Amazon, all your big box stores, anything you can think of. Amazon, Target, Walmart, whatever it may be. And we do liquidations, shelf pulls, The boxes are just maybe not in great condition, but the items are brand new. We take all those items, ranging from $1 all the way up to $1,000, and we dump it all in bins. And so people come and they just scrounge and look through it and grab the items that they want. And so we're open 4 days. And day one, we're open. Everything's $10. Day two, which is Saturday, everything is $8. Monday, everything's $5, and then Tuesday, everything's $2. And so as you see the days progress, the items may not be as good, but they're still really good for the price that you're going to pay. And anyone who can get a $100 item or a $500 item for $10, or a $60 item for $8, or a $20 item for $5, whatever it may be, everyone's happy.
So the most you do is sell something for $10. That's the most you'll charge for anything. So you get something worth a lot of money. So is there a line?
Every day.
Every day.
Yeah.
There's a line to come in the store.
Yeah.
Now,
We have like 100 people, 150 people waiting every morning.
Do you sell out?
No, we never sell out.
So then what do you do with the stuff that you're going to roll over to the next week?
It depends.
Does it start at $10 again the next week?
It starts at $10, but we're adding new items.
New stuff.
Yeah, we get a shipment in every week. And so we're restocking with new items, and the items we don't sell, typically, depending on what type of shape they're in, we'll donate them.
Okay.
To some charity.
Okay, so I'm a pocket knife. I'm sitting out in one of your bins. I'm a pocket knife, and day one I'm $10, right? So then day two I'm how much again?
$8.
$8. Then day three I'm
$5.
$5, and then on the fourth day
$2.
$2. So nobody bought me, even though I can cut anything you need. I'm a pocket knife. Okay, so then the next week I'm still in the bin, but now I start at 10 again.
$10 again.
But then over time, if I'm like the little neglected pocket knife nobody ever wants, I eventually get donated to somebody.
Correct. You get donated. Yep. And what you'll see when you come in, hopefully everybody comes in, but what you'll see is that these items, we don't pick and pull and get the very expensive items out. We let everybody take them. So there was a $1,000 laptop, and we get iPads all the time, Google products.
But it's part of your marketing.
It's part of marketing.
Yeah, it's part of the deal. Now, you don't ever once in a while pull something out at all for yourself or anything?
As an owner, if I pull something out, it's something that I need in my home.
Okay.
So it's like a pair of socks, or it may be some cabinet organizers. That's typically what I get.
Right.
But and people don't believe me, but when people walk out and they see, or walk in and they see, wow, we have really expensive items in here, they start to believe that, no, we don't pull out the best items, because the best thing is giving it to the customer, because that's how you get repeat customers, right?
Yeah. So where is Bend City located?
Been Crazy.
I'm sorry, Been Crazy.
No worries.
Yeah.
It's on Campbell and Glenstone. I'm sorry.
Right here in Springfield.
I'm sorry. Campbell and 1749 Campbell Road.
Well, that's all we need to know right there.
Yes.
All right.
It's right by Bass Pro.
Oh, really? Well, that's a nice location.
Yeah.
That
Sunshine. I couldn't think.
Sunshine. There's a bowling center on Sunshine as well. The other one that the Greater Ozarks Bowls team has been at. So, what kind of inspired you to start this business?
Yeah, my business partner actually came up with the idea, and then he brought me in, and he said that I think we can do really well. And so we looked at it, and it was something that was already in Springfield. There was one store that I knew of. He said that there's a line outside the door every day, and I couldn't believe it until I saw it for myself. And then I was like, okay, well, what does it take? And so we did the research, looked it up, found out that this is viable. It's a viable business. And then I also said that as long as we have an opportunity to give back to the community, I'm all in. And we figured that out. We figured out how to partner with the community in different ways, how to be a part of Springfield and to make it better.
Now, how do you? I don't want you to give up any secrets here, but I would imagine that there's a very, very competitive market to purchase these bins. How do you go about doing that, or how's that work?
You got to know the right people.
Really?
Yeah. So there are brokers all over the country, right, who sell Amazon or Target or whoever it may be, right? And so you just get to know them. You reach out to them, and you try to lock down specific people, specific brokers who will give you the loads that you want. right? And it is very competitive, right? But the market never slows down, especially with COVID. It really ramped up because everybody was ordering things
Right,
online.
yep.
And what amazes me is that the returns that people had were of better quality when COVID occurred. Because people were ordering stuff and then saying, oh, I don't want it. It wasn't the right size or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's very competitive, but you pay the price and you get the items you want, and people love you.
Yeah, I'm kind of into this quite a bit because my business has evolved and with I do I do live streaming here. I do digital marketing for companies. I build websites. My team does this work. And I've kind of got into the flip game myself a little bit. Not with a freestanding store, but on
Sure.
eBay and things like that. I do baseball cards, and then I do. I've done a little bit of garage sailing where I pick up like cassette tapes and then sell them, and things like that. I'm just dabbling in it, and I really like that whole idea of entrepreneurship, of being able to purchase goods and then sell them to people and make people happy, because people are looking for that specific thing, and people like to bargain hunt too.
They do.
Stand in line like Black Friday type stuff, right? But it sounds like you're creating Black Friday 4 days a week.
4 days a week is Black Friday, exactly. And I can't wait for Black Friday to come around because we really have something great planned for the customers. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Everybody's looking for a deal. Everybody's looking for an opportunity to save $1 or $2. And when you're getting things for $10 that are $500-$600, that's a great deal.
How do you crowd control? I'm sure there's been some instances where, no, I had that first. No, I had that first. I mean, is there any concerns there?
Yeah, and we have to fight that every day. But the best thing about being crazy is that our environment is not set up originally to be cutthroat. We treat everyone with respect, and we expect everyone to treat other people with respect. And that's one of the things that we've always prided ourselves on, is the only competitive advantage that we have is customer service, right? And so we expect people to behave a certain way, act like adults, right? And if there's a problem, if it's big enough to be a problem, it's big enough to have a solution. And so that's what we do. We do a lot of problem solving.
It sounds like a fun shopping experience and like a treasure hunt at the same time.
That's right. It's crazy. That's why we named it Ben Crazy.
Now, what time do you guys open?
We open at 11 a.m. and we close at 7 p.m.
Okay.
Friday, Saturday, Monday, Tuesday.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So it's pretty fun.
There's so many innovative, cool things you could do with your business, right? Like you could do a midnight one, like you just pop a midnight here or there, or you could do different things. You could give away like a golden ticket through your social media.
That's
hey,
right.
Sign up for our email list, and if so, on this date, you'll get to come into the store for 5 minutes before anybody else does, but you're limited to 5 items or something, right?
Now that's a good idea.
Like you could do all kinds of cool.
I'm gonna have to do that.
Yeah, you know what I mean, like a golden ticket. Like a.
Yeah.
And you're in the store by yourself, right? Or you could even do like fun things too, where it's like, hey, you get to come in the store for 10 minutes and find 10 items, and then you go outside and you give them away to people.
Oh,
right.
That's a good idea.
You know what I mean?
You know what? I'm gonna jot this down.
Yeah.
This is being recorded.
You call me. I'll give you all the idea.
That's right.
Very interested in your. I think Ben Crazy is a really cool concept. I really like it a lot.
Yeah.
Now, if people want to just kind of follow what you're doing, maybe we've got an audience that's worldwide here, of course. But where can people at least check out what you're doing at your business?
Find us on Facebook. That's where we really keep things updated. Every day we post, we do videos, we do live streams, we do the whole shebang, right? So find us on Facebook. It's Ben Crazy. If you want to @ us, it's Ben Crazy SGF.
Okay.
And you can find us there. And I'm going to bring you on, man, because you got some good ideas, man.
I do have ideas.
And every now and again we do $1 day, and then we'll do a 50-cent day.
Oh, really?
Yes. So 50-cent day is probably our most populated and attended day, because people come in and they get everything for each item is 50 cents.
I would imagine you get guys like me that are flippers too. They'll come in and purchase from you, and then they go right to eBay or something like that.
Yeah. So you asked about a line. Every day that there's a line, the first 10, 15 people are resellers. And so Friday is our day one where we have all the freshest product out there. They will fill up 5, 6, 7 bags. And the bags are the IKEA, big blue IKEA bags. they'll fill 6, 7.
You need Ben Crazy bags.
We do need Ben Crazy bags,
Yeah.
and that's on the way.
All right.
Ben Crazy
You need
bags.
Ben Crazy bags.
Where you can go, we're crazy because we've been crazy.
Now, have you ever had any bowling items come in to Ben Crazy?
No, not a whole lot at all. If we do, it may be keychains, and then
So you're going to keep sponsoring this event, right?
absolutely.
Okay, so here's what I think, and the bowlers appreciate it. I think what you should do between now and next year, anything that comes in that's bowling related, pull it out.
That's a good idea.
Okay,
Yeah.
and then let's do a Ben Crazy here at the bowling center for the event with bowling items.
I love it.
How about
I love
that?
it. That's a great idea.
You can even give them away to the players and stuff or whatever, or
Yeah.
just do whatever. Hey, man, this is something that came in Ben Crazy, thought you might like it, or make
I
it part
love
of the prizes or mystery scores or something.
Love that.
Yeah, we'll.
It's a great idea. Look, okay, how about this? You jot down your name and number, and then you get it to me. We'll bring you on here.
Yeah, hey, and I'll tell you what. I live in Ogden, Utah. Let's get Ben Crazy in Ogden, Utah. I actually have a friend of mine in Utah that already has said Ogden Ben Crazy. Let's go. Let's do it.
I love it. Let's do it.
Let's get it
If
rolling.
he's serious, I'm serious. Let's get it going.
Yeah, Ben Crazy.
It's a great time. You should come by if you have time today, or if you're here till Monday. You should come by.
Yeah, that's cool, man. That's really cool. So why did you decide to sponsor this event? Did your brother just say, "Hey, man, we need a sponsor, and I think it would be great for you"?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, yeah, that is. But I do like bowling myself.
Oh, do you?
And my brother's probably the best bowler that I know personally. And I beat him before.
Oh.
Right? So he told me I owed him one.
Okay.
No, but I do like bowling. I like the environment. I think it's a great sport. It's a great opportunity to see people use their skill set. And I know one thing, it's so challenging to me personally.
Yeah.
So it was a no-brainer to be a part of it. Love my brother. Love Enterprise Park Lanes. So it was a no-brainer.
Well, folks, you should check out Ben Crazy if you're ever here in the Springfield area, and check him out on Facebook. Follow him along, and that's just a really cool idea. And as you said, you're giving back to the community, doing different things, and sponsoring a bowling tournament. Man, we appreciate it.
Appreciate you. Thank you so much for having me. It's a great time, and I can't wait till next year.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate you stopping and by the booth and spending a little bit of time with me.
It's a great time. Thank you so much.
All right, we'll see you later.
All right, guys.
All right, there you have it. I'm loving this. I'm going to be opening my Ogden location soon. I'll be opening up Ben Crazy Ogden, Utah. I love it. You gotta love and support the sponsors, everyone. Seems just like a great guy, Brandon, a great guy. Ben Crazy. Wrapping up game number 7 here. Nick Pate wheeling the whole lane. Enjoys doing that. Quietly, Brad Miller here. Also bowling. Not too happy with his score. But the real story here that we've been watching unfold is we got a possible 3 bills. CJ Petron and Jake DeVoe. CJ has a possible 300 game. Not Bell Biv, but Jake DeVoe here can bowl 215. So they got a max of 515. They are at 2182 through 5 games, 182 over. They find themselves about middle of the pack, lower to middle of the pack. But could finish strong here with a nice 515 game combined. Peyton Miller will be re-entering. They'll be bowling on the next squad, from what I understand, according to Kevin Williams. Boom. Got the front 10 now for CJ. And And this pair is going to be finished with, or these two pairs, I should say, is going to be finished with game number 7 before our other pair. So we will be able to take you down for a little bonus coverage. They're just getting started in game number 7 on those pairs. Ryan Barnes with a possible what is that? 279. Yeah, 279. Last 10 could have. It's a 4-pin for Petrin. So 289 now the max. Brad finishes out with 167. That's 413 for he and Pate. Not too pleased with that.
Okay, 9 o'clock squad. As you guys are finishing up, if you'll bring in the score sheets.
Folks, again, want to thank our sponsors, Greater Ozarks Open, Ben Crazy, Wise Guys, Screen Printing, Greater Ozarks Pro Shops, and Brunswick. Also, don't forget, here at Inside Bowling, you can save 15% with coupon code YouTube over at InsideBowling.com. We've got a lot of merch there. If you haven't checked it out, make sure you check it out. We're not as cool as Ben Crazy, but we're still pretty cool. And also, don't forget, we also have our Backstage Bowling coaching product. If you'd like to get some coaching from 4 of the best coaches in the world, in my opinion. I'm a little biased, but Coach Mike Jasnow, Mike Shady, Brian and Shannon O'Keefe, we'd love to have you come on board. We got a 7-day free trial over at BackstageBowling.com. Ryan Barnes leaves the 7. Still be in the 250s. It's a huge game going here for these guys. Climbing the leaderboard here. Trying to make a run here. He and Joe Gronden. Gronden can still bowl 290. Nien and Baker, who they've been crossing with. We're at 2189 through 5 games. So 258 for Ryan Barnes. Joe Gronden trying to go last 11 for 290. So a nice finish for these guys. I don't have what they bowled in Game 6, but Game 4 they bowled 500, Game 5, 546. So here's Groningen now, 10th frame, first shot. And Gronden now with 9 in a row. It's always fun to throw 11 in a row. Remember the old 11 in a row plaques? Used to love those. Score update, Morris. I've got through 5. I should have 6 here in just a moment. I will give you an update on that. We have standings posted after 4 on Inside Bowling. So you can head over to Inside Bowling on Facebook and see the standings after 4, and then we will have them more regularly updated throughout the day as we've got the bugs kind of worked out of the system. Groningen now 10 in a row. So a little 548 here for Groningen and Barnes possible. Let's finish it up here, Joe. Oh, 6. No, make it 7. All right, 287. Nice game. 546. Bounce out of here. Head back over to lanes 27 through 30. We've got Jen Helferstay with Eric Samowski, Brian Halen, Charlie Reed. Ross Jenner and Terry Salvant. Zach Grime and Jorel Morris. So through 5, just to give you an update on standings, through 5 games, 25-86 leading Austin Bolts, Casey Murphy. 25-39 second, Shea and Tim. Shea Bittenbender, Tim Barrett. 24-77 is third, Dylan Burns, Trevor Bumgarner. Pate and Brad Miller were at 24-70 after 5 games. 24-58 was Frankie and Chris Sloan. Then Tom Bohannon and Darren Breedlove at 24-09. 23-92 was Chase Venezuela and Michael Shirley. Stubler and Crow, 23-62 was their number. They are in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9th. So that gives you a little idea of scoring. Again, if you want to see through 4, we've got it up on Inside Bowling. And I should have a Game 6 update here shortly that I will announce to you, and then we'll have all 7 games up on Inside Bowling about 15 minutes after the squad. Glad you're watching here this morning with us. Going to a new event, new center for me to stream out of. Always the first squad is always the one that's a little bit the toughest, so thanks for hanging in there with me. We got our scoreboards updated throughout the block and got it readable for you. Had a chance to talk with Kevin Williams quite a bit. Shout out to him again on what a great job he's done to bring all the bowlers here and create this event, and the staff here. CT Chris Taylor, want to thank his brother as well, Brandon, for sponsorship. Been crazy. That was fun spending some time with him here. Want to thank Brad Miller for coming by the booth and spending a little bit of time as well. Again, we want to thank the sponsors again, Brunswick, Greater Ozarks Pro Shop, Wise Guys, Been Crazy, and Greater Ozarks Open. We do have another squad scheduled to start in about an hour at 1:30. They will have to oil the lanes. I would assume we're going to start pretty close to on time, but you never know. It might be about 10 or 15 minutes later than that. Pace is a little bit slower than I thought it would be, but we also did have a little bit of a break between games 1 and 2 earlier today. Also had a moment of silence, this being 9/11, September 11th, 20 years ago. That memorable day here in the United States, the act of terror up in New York. Very fresh in my mind, seems just like yesterday. Hello to Slim Genzi. How are you? Good afternoon to you. Hello to Morris. Now all we need is code. Hello to Alina. I'm sure you'll be watching Eddie and Kevin bowling this afternoon. Patrick Wall says, I saw Johnny Petraglia throw 11 in a row in back-to-back games at a tour event in St. Louis. He finished one game with 11 and started the next with 11. 22 in a row for Johnny Petraglia. Beef and Barnsey wants to know, how are Frankie and Sloan bowling this game? They are down on the other end of the building, and I'm unsure. And I'm not sure if that's that could be a number of people acting as Beef and Barnsey today. Shout out to those guys. If you're not subscribed to the Beef and Barnsey YouTube channel, makes it very easy. Click on their name and go and subscribe to them. They do great things and are friends of mine, and appreciate all they do for bowling as well. Eric Hatchett, what's the format for this? Good question, Eric. I can do that for you. We've got 3 qualifying squads today. This one started at 9 a.m. We got another one at 1:30 and at 6. They bowl 7 games of qualifying. Then 1 and 4 is going to come back tomorrow for the cashers round at 8:30 a.m. They're going to bowl 5 more games with pinfall carrying over. And then they're going to get seeded into a bracket. There's going to be a bracket for the top 16, single elimination, Baker format. So a lot going on here. It's the Baker format. It's match play bracket, cut to the top 16, single elimination. Matches will all be best of 7. Best of 7. Seeds 1 through 4 are going to get 2 rounds of byes. Seeds 5 through 8 is going to get a 1-round bye. So we'll have all that for you, and they're going to use the high end of the bowling center here. So we'll be using lanes 27 through 30 and lanes 35 through 38 for our final rounds, and then also the lanes around them will also be used for the rounds leading up to that. So we'll have the opportunity to bring you 8 different lanes. I'll switch the show throughout. So great question. Let's see. 20 years ago, sheesh, I was in 4th grade at the time. Yeah, you're right. Talking about 9/11. Pete G has a news flash he wants everybody to know, and I hope you're all sitting down for this. Johnny Petraglia was a pretty good bowler. Yes, he was. Cody wants to know who's leading now. I went over that a minute ago, but I'll do it one more time. Austin Bolds, Casey Murphy, 25-86 through 5 games. We are in game number 7. I don't have game 6 yet, but I'll give you an idea of what that looks like. So Austin Bolds is bowled 13-17 for his first 5 games, which is 263.4 is his average today. Casey Murphy is bowled 12-69, which is a 253.8 average. So that's pretty good. So combined, they're averaging 258.6 through 5 games. Barrett and Bittenbender are averaging 253.9 as a team through 5 games. 247.7 for Burns and Bumgardner, 247 even for Pate and Miller, 245.8 for Frankie and Sloan. Once again, that's through 5 games. Yeah, Brandon, you bet, man. You're welcome. You're welcome. We'll exchange those numbers, and we're going to open Ben Crazy Ogden. That way, if you live anywhere in the United States, you can come to Springfield to go to Ben Crazy East, and you'll be able to go to Ben Crazy West in Ogden, Utah. We're gonna make that happen. I've already got a plethora of people wanting to fund the store in Ogden, Utah. Ben Crazy. All right. So as Kevin predicted, scores kind of coming down later in the event as the lanes do begin to transition and have what the players describe as a cliff, meaning since it is a house shot, a lot of oil in the middle, a lot of hook to the right. So as soon as you feed it to the right, the ball wants to hook. It's not blended very easily. And a lot of the higher caliber players now, they like blended patterns because that's what they're used to bowling on. So house shots can play havoc on players, and we saw that down the stretch with Nick Pate and Brad Miller. A lot of people say on a house shot it evens the field, and shot making doesn't have to be at a premium, but at the same time, bowling is bowling, and if you're one of the best in the world, you should be able to bowl really well on a house shot. Yeah, you may not win, but you shouldn't average 220 on a house shot. If you can average 230 or 240 on tour on something that's like 2-1, 3-1, or bowl 225 out on that, there's no reason why you can't average 230 here. Not saying that you're at an advantage averaging 230 on this. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is you can still come out here and bowl relatively well if you're that good at repeating shots, hitting a target, and being accurate with your ball speed. and also having product knowledge of your equipment, and also understanding and having access to many different bowling balls and layouts, you should be able to bowl perfectly fine on a house condition. Now, again, I want to reiterate that the field does get more even, but when it comes to your score in general, your score should still be relatively high or higher in general if you are a bowler that can figure out different sorts of patterns. And you should be able to do that if you bowl on the professional tour. If you're a national touring player, or there's two of them bowling on the same team, you should cash in this event. That's basically what I'm saying. Defending champs, by the way, Francois Lavoie and AJ Chapman. AJ, I guess, couldn't bowl this year with Frankie, so Frankie's bowling with his good friend Chris Sloan. Great to have him in the field, too. Let's see. Jay wants to know. You can just call me Jay anytime if you want my opinions on things, but I guess you want me to say it on air. Let's see. Just looking for your opinion, but with St. Louis having such a big bowling community, do you think any PBA events will ever come back to the area, or even better, USBC Nationals? That's an interesting one. I would say PBA event. Well, Bolero owns the PBA, and there are Bolero centers in the St. Louis market. The last PBA event in St. Louis, I believe, was at Lakeside. Bolero Lakeside, I think is what they call it now. I would think it'd be a great location to have a tour event, and they've got the XL Center. I'm not sure what they call it. Bolero O'Fallon, maybe, is what they call it now, or St. Peter's. I could see that. I could definitely see that, but there's got to be a reason. There's got to be a reason to come to St. Louis, and a lot of times sponsorship dollars. I would imagine if a St. Louis sponsor bucked up and said, "Yeah, but we want to have one of the events in St. Louis," I think that could work. So if I don't know, Salt and Smoke. I'm trying to think of a St. Louis. That's not a big enough company, but some St. Louis company. Enterprise. That's a good one. Enterprise Rent-A-Car. So what if Enterprise wanted to sponsor the tour? Well, maybe they say, well, hey, we want one of the tour stops in St. Louis. I could see that being possible. USBC Nationals. With the center, I think that all boils down, and I'm speaking a little out of turn here, and I'm guessing a little bit. I know that I'm associated with the United States Bowling Congress, but I just want to let everybody know and preface this with I have no inside information on this. But what I believe happens is the Convention and Visitors Bureau needs to be able to make a pretty attractive offer to be able to do that. And I'm sure the USBC has reached out to all major cities about hosting an event, and just the city needs to buck up. Now, I would say there's an empty stadium most of the time downtown where the Rams used to play. I think that would be an excellent venue to install lanes and have that sort of an event. But I don't even know what it takes to heat and cool that place. I don't know if it makes economical sense whatsoever. But, Nationals was there, I believe, one time. And again, don't fact check me because I don't know that for sure. But I know it was there at least once. It would be cool to see it go back to St. Louis since that's where I'm from. Sean St. Clair, Mike, you ever think about having tall shirt sizes on your site? I'll cover this briefly and quickly. We have a hard time stocking the regular size shirts that we have in every color and every size. Not that I don't have utmost respect for big and tall guys. I certainly do. But it's very difficult to carry that much inventory. And sourcing shirts has become very difficult with all of the supply issues that's happened in the last year and a half. But it's noted, and I'll see what I can do. Are there any tournaments in the Chicago area? I'm sure there's a ton of them. Let's see. There was a stop at North Oaks Bowl in St. Louis. That's not the last one, though, Donnie. I believe Rick Lawrence won at Lakeside. Let's see. Yeah, there's a PBA regional every year at Scott Air Force Base. Patrick, you're right. I would imagine if 5,000 people showed up to Scott Air Force Base to watch the event, there's probably a really good chance that there would be a PBA tour stop in the St. Louis area. So, Jay, if you want to go out and get a school bus and start busing people into that onto Scott Air Force Base, I'm sure you'd probably be looked at a little funny doing that. But get 5,000 people to show up to a regional, and I bet they would make a stronger case to get a PBA national tour stop in St. Louis. I think it'd be great. I went to them when I was a kid, and I loved it. Match play on Friday nights were incredible. I've got standings after game number 6, everybody. Shea Bittbender and Tim Barrett bowled .499 the last game. They continue to lead at 30-38. Only 4 pins behind now, Bolds and Murphy. They moved to second. They bowled .448 game number 6, so that makes them fall down to second. Just 4 pins behind Shea and Tim. Third, Lavoie and Sloan bowled .512 the last game. They're at 29-70. Fourth is Burns and Bumgarner, 28-92. Then followed by Stearns and Nelson at 28-77. Followed by Pate and Miller at 28-70. And we know they only bowled .40 the last game. They bowled .400 even game number 6. Just to let you know, they've kind of gone backwards. They opened with .535, .534, .494, .418, .489, and .400. And they finished with just a low .400 game in the last game. They will probably re-enter on the next squad. Chase Venezuela and Michael Shirley at 28-58. 28-47 is Tom Bohannon and Darren Breedlove. Nate Stubler and Cameron Crowe. A little surprising, 28-42 out of those two guys, two lefties. Future superstars, in my opinion. They are at 28-42. Josh Imhoff and Sambo Butler, 28-15. O'Brien and Sapolis, 27-44. Grime and Morris, 27-30. Ryan Barnes and Joe Gronin only bowled .409 game number 6. They are now at 27-09. I'm sorry, 26. Sorry, 27-09. That's correct. Jenner and Salvant III, 26-78. Halen and Reed, 26-73. So there's a rundown of about the top 16 teams for you. All right, a lot of talking there as we finish up this game number 7. I'm glad you've joined me here today for my first time here at the Springfield Double. Second year for the event. They had it in 2019. Again, Frankie and A.J. Chapman won the event. Took off 2020 for obvious reasons with COVID, and now back here this year. I want to thank Kevin and the entire crew for having me out, wanting me to bring you this action. Chris Taylor here at General Manager here at Enterprise Park Lanes. Been a gracious host, unbelievable person, and looking forward to working with him the rest of the weekend. We got B Squad coming up for you. I would imagine it's going to start a little bit late. It's scheduled to start in 52 minutes. I would imagine we're going to be closer to 2 o'clock, everybody, if you're trying to make schedule arrangements for the afternoon. If you want to watch more bowling, that's probably about what time we will come on. So we've got 259, possible 237 here, and 206 posted, 237 posted. And with that, that's going to take care of this morning's action. All 7 games. We saw really high scoring at the beginning. We saw scores out there. It is on a house shot, 44 feet in length. I want to thank everybody for watching here today. Again, I want to thank our sponsors, because without the sponsors, this would not be possible. The Greater Ozarks Open, of course, a lot of people have bowled that event. You watching have probably bowled or heard of the event. Singles, doubles, team event starts at the end of February every year and runs through the end of June every single year. The Weimers here, the proprietors, they built this place in 1991. A lot of history here, and they're committed to bowling at all levels, especially at the highest level. So make sure you come down and you consider bowling that event. It is almost 1,400 teams the last few years, but with COVID and everything, it's down a little bit. They got back to about 1,200. I talked to Scott this morning. And I think that they're right back on track. So make sure you support the Greater Ozarks Tournament. Also, Ben Crazy We talked with my man here just a little while ago, Mr. Taylor. Awesome place you can visit when you come in bowl the Greater Ozarks. Check out Ben Crazy. Wise Guy Screen Printing, wiseguyscreenprint.com if you're looking for any screen printing you need done. Greater Ozarks Pro Shop. Kevin Williams right here also works in the shop. And, of course, Brunswick, the family of brands at Brunswick. If you're looking for a bowling ball purchase, make sure you consider Brunswick. They got a new Power Torque that's kind of got my eye right now in the Columbia 300 brand, also Kevin Williams brand. So that's going to do it here for the morning squad here from the Springfield Double Shootout 2021 edition. Again, thanks to Kevin Williams for joining me for a bit. I also want to thank Brad Miller for popping in. Always a pleasure to have Brad in the booth. And don't forget, we've got Kevin Williams going to be bowling with Eddie Byrd here coming up on the B squad in just about an hour, hour and a half or so after the oil lanes. Looks like they're starting to oil right now. So we may start closer on time. So I'm going to grab some food myself. Once again, thanks for supporting Inside Bowling. Thanks for watching our channel. If you haven't subscribed, make sure that you consider that. Make sure you like this video. And we will see you a little bit later on today or later down the road on a future stream. Good afternoon, everybody. We'll see you here in a little bit.